When I was 5, I was in a Pee Wee soccer team called the West Chesapeake Valley Thunderbolts, sponsored by Shane's Tire Shop. We won 0 games, and one time this girl Mindy, she did a poo at midfield. Anyone else have any pointless childhood stories to tell?
Back to a stark contrast where we discuss the differences and similarities between Marvel Comics and their MCU counterparts. And we are your hosts, Geoffrey
and Dai.
Hello, and welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back, and
yes,
welcome to our spoiler-filled episode.
Incredibly.
All about Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts!
Asterix, the new Avengers.
What?
But.
What?
What?
Wait.
Huh?
Dai, I didn't see
What? Avengers with a Z. But before we get to all of that, I'd like to welcome back our special guest for this episode, Mr. Stephen Ray Morris.
Yes! I'm going to be doing lots of Russian accents this episode.
Dead Russian. It's returning. And so just for
Baltimore.
Baltimore. For those of you who weren't aware, Stephen last joined us for episode 5 of this podcast.
Wow.
Scarlet Witch back in 2020.
And I still feel the same. We still feel the same way about her, do we?
Yes.
Do we?
Oh my
If not
gosh.
more
Yes.
so. Yeah. And so just a reminder also, this is episode 107.
Yes.
Wow. Oh my God. Almost 100 episodes.
Yes,
A little over 100
Stephen.
episodes later.
Crazy.
It's been a minute, guys.
Been a while.
It's been a minute, but thanks for coming by, Stephen.
No. Thank you for inviting me. I
course.
love this movie, so I'm so happy to talk about it.
And that's exactly why. I was like, I'm paying attention, and I'm like, Stephen's really into this movie. He might be into it more than I am, because I teased him because he was like, gonna go see Thunderbolts again. And I was like, you're gonna see it more times than I have.
Wow. I was surprised.
Because I hadn't gotten around to it. It's hard to do.
That's what I'm saying. You're the expert.
I know. Oh my gosh. And so I'm just gonna jump ahead very quickly with my notes, but real quick, before we get to all this stuff, how many times have you seen it, Jeff?
I am always will be
Just the one.
because
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
engulf myself into it. Like
Sure.
I'll remember.
Yeah.
I'm a very visual learner.
Yeah.
So
So the fan event is when we saw it together for the
That's
first
right.
time.
yeah.
And then we got shafted because the entire cast showed up the night after.
So only
I'm
one.
still mad about that. You, Stephen.
I've seen it twice.
I've seen it twice.
I saw it 2 days in a row. I literally saw it that Friday
Yeah.
because you both saw it on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw it Friday afternoon,
Yes.
mostly because I did want to see it when it came out, but then it is that Marvel thing where you're like, oh, I have to see this right away, or geez, thank God it was
marketing.
It was spoiled on Monday.
Monday
morning.
Monday
9 a.m.
morning.
on the dot.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah,
I was
and-
like, there's no way. And then lo and behold, they changed everything.
Yeah,
Everything.
The Wheaties box in the theater,
Yeah.
the standee, and
Everything.
Then, yeah, but then yes, that the next day,
Yeah.
because I had enjoyed it so much, I was just like, I really felt so much juice.
Yeah.
Like, and I liked Brave New World, but
Oh, yeah.
it like left my brain
For sure.
immediately.
Sure.
We were both kind of like, Brave New World was fun because
Yeah.
it was like you're kind of feeling you're being pulled back in. But this one, I think, and we'll get into it obviously,
Yeah.
next level. But
Technically, Marvel wasn't the first person where they were. Robert Downey Jr. was the first person to spoil it.
Did you know this?
No, I didn't know
He
this.
posted on his Instagram.
He posted
Yeah.
he posted a group pic because they're filming. I think they started like Doomsday.
Doomsday, yeah.
And I think he posted a group photo of
Yeah.
where they all watched it. All the cast, like whoever was filming.
Yeah.
And then in the
Simu
caption, he was like, "Congrats to Thunderbolts and the new Avengers." And everyone was like, "Is that a spoiler?"
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.
It was on Friday.
Oh my gosh.
And everyone was like, wait, huh? And
It's funny because I use that example a lot. I've talked to some people on See Jurassic Right, Guy Wise, who was in the War of the Rohirrim, Lord
Yeah.
of the Rings anime, and then DeWanda Wise which will be out, I think, after this, about Jurassic World Dominion, and just this notion where I feel like all the Marvel actors have to like carry a list with them of
They
like
have to.
But then I just imagine it's
RDJ's
so hard
like-
to police that, and
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
who was it? Mark Ruffalo and Tom Holland are like the biggest offenders.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
They're actually better, but it's always the boomer that's
Well,
gonna accidentally.
they're also like, what do we do? And it's like, it's RDJ.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Fire him?
Yeah, exactly.
Edit the caption. Edit the caption.
Yeah, but also, what a way to tell that he does his own social media.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Right, because sadly his assistant had passed away a couple years ago.
Oh, that's right.
In a car accident.
Yes.
And so, but yeah, it's like, oh, you want the authenticity? He's actually running his own stuff.
Yeah.
It was that big spoiler.
Yeah.
But
What am I supposed to spoil again?
I know, right? So I also watched it obviously with Jeff on that Thursday, and then less than 24 hours saw it again with my mother. I took my mother because my mom, even though she doesn't pay attention nearly as much as my dad used to, she enjoys these films. Deadpool and Winter Soldier are her favorites, even though she probably couldn't name them, but she knows that those are her favorites. And so I think she put it together like, oh, I know this character.
Yeah.
But I don't know the other people, but went with it. She enjoyed it.
So then, has she seen every MCU theatrical release?
My dad did.
Really? Oh, that's
But
lovely.
she would just be along for the ride, but she doesn't know what's happening, what's going on.
Well, and my question I want to ask you guys is, if somebody asks you like what to watch before Thunderbolts,
Yeah.
for me personally, I'm like, really, I mean, Black Widow is great, so watch Black Widow.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of like, I mean, if you had like of
Yeah.
the recent ones that you've missed, like obviously I saw Falcon and Winter Soldier
Yeah.
and enjoyed it, but I haven't watched it since. But I feel
Yeah.
like the movie does a
Oh, they
good
do
enough job of reselling
they
you
do,
on all that.
They do a really
and
great
I think
job.
they talked about that now where I was talking.
Yeah.
I was telling Steven off mic of like they're trying to scale back.
Yeah. The
You don't
necessity.
Have to, they don't want to make it feel like you have to do like homework.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like every
Yeah.
movie will be good.
Well, it's
on
funny
its own.
because on the last podcast on the left, they actually said this, and that Henry was like, look, we love Marvel, but I'm not watching 10 movies just to see
Sure.
Thunderbolts. And I was like, that's fair. That's super fair.
Yeah.
But okay, before we get too deep into it, so I ended up seeing the 2 times.
Yeah.
And then the week after, which was this past weekend,
Yes.
I went to see Thunderbolts again on Friday.
Okay.
IMAX.
And then-
regular.
I went, so El Capitan,
Sure.
then IMAX.
Okay.
And then IMAX 3D.
Wow.
And then I saw Sinners. And then I saw it IMAX Standard. So I've seen Thunderbolts 4 times at this
Wow.
point.
Side tangent.
Yeah.
What
Yes.
did you see Sinners in?
What I know, I couldn't see it in 70.
I saw it in 70 millimeter.
I saw it at the
I'm so
Vista.
jealous.
Yeah, I saw it at the Vista too.
Yes.
I wanted to see it. So no, they didn't have it. So I just watched.
If you have
I
a
watched
chance
IMAX.
to before it leaves,
I gotta try
it
again.
might have like a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
I will say though, at least at my screening of the Vista, it felt like the screen was like a little bit like tilted a little
gosh.
bit, like the projector was like a little
Gives
bit
it character.
And I was just like, you might want to slip a quarter underneath the
Sure,
like
Yeah.
sure.
third
But,
leg or whatever.
But yes.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you have
Great.
a chance to see it in
Great
film,
film. Yeah.
70?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Loved it. So I sandwiched my Sinner screening with
Wow, what
Thunderbolts.
that's like it's like Barbenheimer. Like,
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, hey, let's go. But yeah, before
Thinners,
Thinners.
Thinners.
Thunderbolts,
Okay.
That's a
Cinderbolts.
Cinderbolts.
It's not-
Cinderbolts.
it's not
It
bad.
sounds like they all sound like cereal. Okay, yeah, but before we get even further into the weeds, just wanted to tackle some news in the Marvel universe. So we were just chatting about this, and I had to amend my notes because things changed literally today.
Thank
So
God.
the long-anticipated Ironheart series, starring Dominic Thorne and created by Chinaka Hodge, will officially be arriving and streaming on Disney Plus beginning June 24th. with a
episode
three episode premiere. That's how you know they're behind schedule. Because
Well,
2 is one thing. 2 is one thing. It's
Yeah.
like Daredevil launched 2. You want 2.
Yeah.
3 is a hefty helping because that's a quarter of the season, presumably.
Well, that's what they did with Andor. They dropped it
Oh,
4
did they
weeks in
do?
a row, 3
See?
episodes each.
There's something wrong here.
Well, the theory with Andor is Emmy consideration.
Sure.
Okay.
The cutoff is
Yeah.
is like at a certain point.
That
I don't know
makes
the
sense.
rules, but
that makes
They're
sense.
just trying to. I
'Cause
think they're
especially
trying to
Daredevil.
get the things out that when they were trying to cram things.
Yeah.
And now they're just like, okay, now we're back.
Yeah.
on track.
dump them out.
Yeah,
Like now we're back
exactly.
on track because like once this is released, I
Yeah.
think it's they're that's
they're
where
back
it's-
on track.
Yeah,
after
they're back
this.
on track.
I know it had to suffer a little bit, but I think there's enough hype to keep the momentum going. And the trailer is dropping or has dropped at this point as this podcast episode has
Yeah.
officially launched. So hopefully the trailer's great. I have high hopes. It is produced by Ryan Coogler and his wife, and
Executive produced too. Yeah,
executive
so
produced. So
very
yeah,
involved.
I have faith. I'm pretty hyped about it. We also finally got our first official look at Nicolas Cage as Spider Noir
That's right.
coming in 2026.
I'm looking at the picture right now because I haven't seen it yet.
It's actually quite excellent. It's quite. I've been spoiled because I've seen behind the scenes pictures, and it's like it's Nicolas Cage, but
And it's like it's a spitting image of the animated.
Of the
so
animated,
it's like
yeah.
no, yeah.
I kind of wish. I mean, not that there's like 10% of people who'd actually know what he looks like in the comics because nobody likes Spider-Man Noir. I do, but in the comics, his mask is more steampunky, so you can tell that it was like threaded leather type. But they've taken it kind of like the black version of Tom Holland's print at this point, which is fine. That's fine. But I think it looks great.
That I want the answer to.
Yes,
because I saw it on Twitter today.
Okay.
Is Nicolas Cage the first person to play the animated version and the live action version of a character? If, off the top of your heads.
Wait,
I don't know. I'm trying to find the answer.
Animation first, then live action?
No, just in general to play a character both the live action and animated.
Oh my
Marvel
God,
or everything?
Just in general.
Okay.
I
don't think in general.
Why can't I remember her name right now? Who plays Bo-Katan from Firefly? Katie Sackhoff.
Oh, then I guess it has to be. I mean, yes. Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess in general it's easier to find, but I guess in Marvel, he might be the first.
He might be the first.
Because obviously Ahsoka too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, but
Ashley Eckstein.
Ashley Eckstein.
She's not. She and Rosario Dawson are two different people. For Ahsoka.
They are too.
Whoa, whoa! I just thought that. Wow.
Yeah.
They look so much. Yeah. Obviously.
I don't know.
Well, it's also, but with that though, it's such a big age gap.
But they also do the reversal, right? Of like, a character like in What If, for instance, you know, like Haley Atwell.
I guess, yeah. I guess
kind of like,
What If are its own thing, but like in terms, I think because What If are based on the characters,
right? Exactly. I think he might be definitely the first Marvel. Ooh,
well, that's why I was
question.
thinking of Katie Sackhoff because it is animation to live action.
Yeah.
Where it is almost.
Yeah.
Well, and also the actor who played Thrawn in Rebels plays him in live action also.
Oh, that's right.
So I guess,
I've
in terms of animation to live action.
Yeah, I think he might be the first.
One of the
definitely for Marvel.
For Marvel,
I feel.
yes.
Yeah. Wow.
I was like, wow, that's a cool fact.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't Natasha Lyonne
We don't know if she's playing the same character.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But because presumably I thought she's playing a character named Alicia.
Okay.
In Fantastic Four. So we'll see. I don't think Birdie's...
Yeah,
I don't think
unless
they're
Howard
gonna.
the Duck and
I don't know, but
Pat Dennings make
like maybe in a multiversal setting as
Sure.
like a joke, but
yeah.
But anyway, the series Spider Noir is coming from MGM Plus and Amazon Prime Video of all studios.
I have one of them.
Yeah, but it is produced by Phil Lord and Chris Miller of Sony's Spider-Verse universe. So I'm positive. I remain optimistic.
You gotta watch it until you see it.
I mean, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah,
it's weird that it's a TV show.
It shouldn't be fun, though.
It's Nicholas. Oh,
it's supposed to be dark.
Yeah,
so
it's Nicolas Cage. You know, I just feel like it's hard to get him to do anything.
Yeah,
bees, not the bees.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah.
And last but certainly not least, Kristen Ritter was officially announced.
I know. I was so
to be
excited
returning as Jessica Jones. I texted Jeff and I was just like, I won.
That's what I saw on your Instagram. I saw that. And I was like, I love this.
I have been, but
I'll
be honest. I did not think it would be like, we're gonna take it to Disney upfront. I thought it was gonna be a longer lead, like into the
like
series,
tease it or something,
like full on, not until next year. But they were just like early Christmas.
Because they're
I was
filming.
like, thank you.
They're filming.
They're filming now.
They're filming season 2 currently, but she's already shot some stuff already.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like the fact that we haven't seen that at all in terms of all the leaks that are very accessible.
Yes.
It's great.
AKA the IRL pictures of Daredevil in New York City.
Yes.
Because they're have you seen this?
No.
They're filming outside of, obviously real homes and apartments.
Yeah.
Someone posted on Twitter and was like, oh my God, Daredevil's filming outside of my apartment. And it's like the sickest photo of Daredevil.
And he's wearing the black suit.
And he's wearing the black suit, which is like,
so it's like.
But yeah, I think they tried to get ahead of it because it's inevitable that at one point, much like the Punisher,
they're going to film outside.
They're filming outside. The squad's going to be there and then everyone's going to be like,
And to add on to that, I saw another part of the article saying that I think it was Brad Winderbaum or one of the whatever EPs.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, like they're on track to film like Daredevil once a year to film
That's
it,
so
so you get a Daredevil season at least once a year.
Wow.
Daredevil fans are eating
Oh man,
well.
it's also like you have to like find a cast that's like wants to play that role, and I feel like you found that cast.
Yeah,
like
I
as
agree.
long as Vincent and Charlie want to keep playing the role,
Yeah.
we're gonna get a lot of Daredevil
That's
in the
gonna be so
next
great.
3 to 5 years.
And I think they've also probably planted it well enough that they're going to give them a break to step, like, well, at least Vincent, they're going to give him a moment to be like, okay, you're going to take a few episodes off. We're
Sure.
going to bring in somebody else, and then he can get away from it
Sure.
and not feel like he's just in it.
Just
in it,
you know,
in
just
it.
hitting the
Yeah.
the
Give it to it. Give it. Yeah, there it is.
Vanessa. Hi. Change. We will take this city together.
You missed a lot, Steven.
I know. I was letting them know before the recording that I have not. Daredevil Born Again is the one thing I'm behind right now.
you
So
got- I mean, he's just Vincent D'Onofrio is such an excellent character actor.
no,
Excellent.
Look. You only see his hand get bitten off in Jurassic World. Like they could bring him back with a robot hand. You
And
know.
I always forget that is him.
Yeah.
Like, and
Wow.
he's in Magnificent Seven with Chris Pratt. He was my favorite character in that film.
Right.
Yeah, he's excellent. His voice was crazy in that one. And then he's Kingpin, and I'm just like, this man is sensational.
Can
But
do it all.
He can do it all.
plays
but yeah.
plays a bug trapped in a human body in Men in Black.
Oh God, that's right. Yes, he's in Men in Black. Yeah, he's amazing.
Water, sugar, water.
Oh my God.
Yeah, wow, that was like a deep dive into my mind. Right there. That was wow.
Oh God, so amazing. So all that said, do you want to go ahead and jump in? Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's
Yeah.
go. So Thunderbolts, directed by Jake Schreier, screenplay by Eric Pearson and Joanna Kahlo, and soundtrack by Son Lux.
Pretty much an A24 film.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah, and that the whole goss about like, oh, they did the A24 trailer as a joke,
So good.
but Feige was like,
I love this.
print.
Love
Send it.
Loved
Yeah.
it. So
yeah,
good.
and then people are saying like that trailer was
Yeah.
the reason that
Oh,
they
yeah.
saw the
The
movie. They're
interest
like, oh, I
was
want
there.
to see this.
Is excellent.
Yeah.
I think it was a great move, and so currently the film stands on IMDb with a 7.6 out of 10.
That's good.
Number
Wow.
one in popularity. It's been at number one for a minute. So
Yeah.
I'm actually I'm like, okay.
Hell
so
yeah.
people are actually really, really interested in all this crew. 88% tomato meter, 94% popcorn meter.
Wow.
Excellent. And on I was gonna say Thunderboxed, Letterboxd,
We're taking over.
3.7 out of 5 with
Wow.
257,000 likes.
That's pretty good for the film snob.
And you know who one
Website.
of those likes is? Our own Ms. Marvel, Iman
Yes.
Vellani.
Iman
Yes.
Vellani, yes.
She liked the film, so I was like, okay. But yeah, so top thoughts. Anything right off before we start going into the nitty gritty of the characters? How do you guys want to approach this?
Wait.
In the light of my family of Wheaties boxes. Oh God, yeah.
Well, I mean, I to your point about asking me to come on, it was just one of those things where I just was watching the movie and I think I'd been excited about it. I love Yelena. I love Bucky. Like, I enjoy these characters. I am like Hannah Jo Kamen?
John
Yeah.
Kamen.
Yeah.
John Kamen,
I
yes.
always loved Ghost as like a villain, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna like this. But I think as you're watching the movie, I think it's that thing of like, if you have low expectations or you're just not like hyped about it,
Yes.
then it can really like hit you in a big way. And I was just
Yeah.
like, there was moments in this movie where it's just like, whoa, they're doing this. Like, this is
Yes.
so cool. And
I agree.
and I'm curious to your thoughts too of like, you know, I'd seen the trailers and stuff, and it was surprising to me how much time they spent in, like, in a way, because you're used to trailers only showing like the first 30 minutes of a movie. I was like, oh, but it was like, no, this whole, like, half this movie is set at that facility, and then the last half is in New York. Like, it doesn't
in New York.
go that much, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
and so
yeah.
you really get to sit with everything and actually
Yeah.
like
Well,
breathe.
Yes.
and that's funny because apparently, and you know, this has all been revealed post, actual premiere of the film, is that apparently the original script entailed that the entire movie was going to take place in the vault,
Wow.
which is
Yeah.
a bold move. But I'm glad that they pulled away from that
Yeah.
idea and expanded that. But yeah, I thought the initial marketing, because I have been hyped for this film for years at this point, like
Been at least 2 years.
at least 2 years, and like when they finally announced it, I was like over the moon, because I was like, holy what, like they're doing this film of all things. And it got me excited, not only because obviously some of my favorite characters are on the roster,
that's what I was gonna say,
but also I felt kind of the anticipation of when Guardians was first released or announced, I was like, why? I was part of the why crowd, and I was like, James who? I wasn't. I was like, oh, the guys that did Slither, like what's happening here? And so, but that ended up being my favorite franchise of the entire MCU. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when they first announced this team with this specific like suite of characters, and this like knowing what I do know about them from the comics, and that they are unconventional and they are led by Bucky Barnes, and they're not exactly straight laced like the Avengers.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let Marvel cook, I guess. Like, let's see what happens. And then to only know that since that announcement, Florence Pugh has kind of embedded herself as one of the top leading people in the entire MCU.
Like she's like one of the future
solid.
She's
so solid, which is crazy because she's been in the MCU but for 5 years at this point already.
2021,
2020, bruh.
20 was that?
Oh, I guess 2021.
Well, I guess when the movie released, sure.
Yeah. So she's been in it for a while now.
Yeah,
people have gotten used to her.
Yeah,
they think of her as part of the MCU, just like anyone else.
Right.
It's like because she is such a star, they don't. It's not like she's had to be in tons of stuff to because there's certain MCU characters, like I feel like like Benedict Wong, like he was such a reliable character. We loved like She-Hulk, seeing him pop up and all this stuff. So you're like he like earned that like mantle as being like a fan favorite, but Florence Pugh has been able to become a fan favorite without being in as much stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's extraordinary because I saw a tweet the other day, and of course it's one of those crack fan profiles that they're all about Pugh, but also they made a wonderful point in that she's only been in 3 things.
Yeah.
But all 3 things are so solid, and it's almost a question of, is it solid or is she solid? Or are they both solid? Because Hawkeye, people didn't necessarily partake. I love Hawkeye.
No,
as a character,
I was because after seeing Sinners and Haley Steinfeld, I'm just like, oh my god, I forgot how good Hawkeye was.
Yeah,
Yes.
Hawkeye is highly underrated, and she was fantastic in there, and she was only in a couple of episodes. She was fantastic, obviously, in Black Widow. She won everybody's hearts with that, and then now we have her in this film, and you're just like, hot damn, this is excellent. And so when we picked up with Yelena in the film, who opens the film, depressed or bored,
Bucky,
can't quite
your
tell.
turn to enter.
Rocket is just making out with Steven right now, and Bucky is just being Bucky as we talk about this film. Yes, hi, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
The Thunderbolts are here.
Thunderbolts are here. And
and I kind of like that they had to like kind of focus on one person. It was mostly like, it was at the end of the day, it was Florence's story.
Sure.
But I still think they weaved in everybody's pain and suffering pretty well.
Yeah.
Like John Walker's backstory, I was like, oh my god.
right, because it's like,
You went through it, bro.
right, and what I think that's what I appreciated about it was that it's a superhero film, but they didn't have to have like superhero like depression. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it didn't have to all, and I think that's kind of why they did not show Bucky again.
Yeah.
And they didn't go through the whole Winter Soldier thing as Rocket eats
That
my
was
hair.
funny. I can't lie to
He
you.
does this all the time. I'm like, okay, cool. Thanks, hairstylist. And so, yeah, the fact that they I don't think they felt the need to like do that again. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of
because
what
we get it. Like I
right.
think it would have
like,
been
we don't
tiresome.
have to see it again.
It's like in Star Wars now, they've shown Order 66 like in 10 different series, and you're like,
Doesn't stop it
we
from being a
get
joke.
it. These Jedi, they got all killed.
slaughtered.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
it's like you have that like that fatigue for like
Sure.
tragedy, and
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it was a cool like I think we were talking a little bit of like you see the growth that this one character has, so then you make the connection of why he would be with why he's the one to assemble these other people together. Like it makes sense thematically and within the framework of the movie.
And I think in particular what Jake and his crew did with this film is that like every ensemble film or film that connects to everything else in the MCU, you get the routine like, here's the part that we're going to put that throwback for the people who didn't watch the movie. And they'd say like a very long particular like callback to something that happened in a previous film or a show, whatever the heck it was.
Yeah.
And to the point that some people do feel like, oh, I got to watch it now. I don't understand what they're saying. But in this, they are very careful with how they word things. And like with Ghost, for instance, because let's be honest, who really saw... An average Joe who saw Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And so you really have to be like, a lot of people are like, where's this character from?
Yeah.
And so they explained it very well. And she says it very plainly. And in their like stress, it's like, oh, but I was a child and I couldn't hold my particles together and I had to make the suit. And, you know, they kind of like air it in a funny way that it makes it digestible and also enjoyable.
But I thought it was interesting that they don't mention Ant-Man.
No, not at all. Not even once.
And I think that's what makes it good world building, where it feels natural, where it's like you're only learning the information that this character is needing to express about herself in that time versus like giving you a recap of
like an
an
actual
old
recap.
movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like nothing about Ant-Man and the Wasp actually mattered to Ghost other than that she is where she is now.
Right.
But like none of those events, she's not going to be like, oh, you know, Ant-Man who like worked with your sister, Black Widow, you know, like that would have been so clunky. Like that would have been so unnatural.
It would have confused so many people.
Oh yeah, exactly. And especially if some people's only recollection of Ant-Man is Quantumania.
Yeah.
You know, like it
That's
could
true.
really derail people. And so
Yeesh.
I think what they did and the way that they vetted it and kind of made it, they simplified it a bit.
Yeah.
And made it like run off like banter made all the more sense than it would have otherwise, right?
Well, it helps too, that structure of like people constantly having to reintroduce themselves is actually like a very clever way to like remind people, oh, you're that person. Oh, you're that person.
Hey, ghosty lady, Ava, great, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like it's,
so
you know,
so
it's
good.
very like, it's just almost like improv. They're just like riffing off of each other in a good way. But
they each know their backstories, and then they can riff off in a way that feels natural.
Right, exactly. And so I just wanted to very quickly, before we talk about Valentina, but in the El Capitan screening, when they mentioned Ox Group, I don't know if you meant to do it, but I was like, Oscorp? I think we both had a moment where we thought it was Oscorp.
Okay,
It is not
was
Oscorp. It is Ox Group.
Man.
I know, we were both like, because the El Capitan sound, bless its heart, not the best. Not the best at all.
Man.
So it took this, we were very excited for a second. Now he's sad. I've ruined his day.
But it is that thing where I think the way that this movie, I forgot who shot it, but I also feel like even with the sound design, in a way that feels more, and it's that A24 touch where, like, watching this and Sinners back to back, I was like, oh, these are what like regular movies are with lighting, where not everything is in focus and perfectly lit. Because, you know, it's like, as much as I love some of the other bigger Marvel movies, like Brave New World is like shot in a bathroom. You know what I mean? Like other than when they're in the lab. But it is just that it's like the lighting that we're in now, where everything is like perfectly, like there's plenty of artistic shots in all those movies, but like sometimes those movies are more about conveying information rather than artistic framing.
Sure.
But this movie was so beautifully shot, and in ways that were like, and even with the sound design, where like people were talking over each other and stuff that felt really natural.
But Jeff, go ahead. You can finish.
Oh, no. I was just like, not Oxcorp.
But I was going to say, I'm going to continue my thought. Because there are some theories of what Ox stands for.
Is it like AUX?
OXE. So the theories are, because Oxcorp does indeed exist in the comics.
That's what I was going to ask.
And they played an actual key role in the formation of the Thunderbolts, which does include Bucky Barnes as their leader. But the theory for the MCU version of OXE Corp is that it stands for Osborn, Xavier, and Eric.
Wow.
The E is kind of where they lost me. I was like, last name, Lensher. Magneto. Why would you call him Eric? And he has like 9 different names.
Sure.
But I was like, interesting. I don't think it's true, but
Yeah, I'll have to see it to
interesting.
believe it.
Yeah, so maybe, but yeah, it's unfortunately not Oscorp. As for the other characters, we're then very quickly introduced to Bucky Barnes, who's a freshman congressman.
That's so hilarious.
And funny enough, we mentioned this in our Brave New World episode in theorizing, like, where is Bucky going after Brave New World? And I said it. I was like, 2-1, he's going straight to that banquet. And I think it's true. I think he goes from where he met Sam in the hospital, and then we pick up with him, and he's watching Valentina at this, what is it called? Fall of New York First Responders Family Fundraiser.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. And so, so I think the pickup is there, and it's that exact time frame, because it's kind of hard, going into the timeline aspects of the Marvel Universe. It was kind of hard at first to designate where is this on the timeline.
Sure, yeah.
Especially with Brave New World. But it kind of does align in that it's like Brave New World, and then you're just following through Thunderbolts until, obviously, the stinger that we'll talk about at the end, where it just goes, whoop!
Well, but yeah, I was watching, I mean, I do enjoy watching New Rockstars Easter egg breakdowns afterwards, and them pointing out that you can see both the Washington Monument and the White House being under construction. It's just, that's the kind of thing where it's again, to me, it's again, this movie was so enjoyable regardless of the MCU connections, but those little things make me, it's okay, they still care.
Attention.
They're still
yes,
attention to detail matters.
I think that this is the one that they've been most subtle yet effective with in a long time.
Yeah.
It's not in your face, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If you don't know and you don't see it, it doesn't affect your enjoyment of the story, but to know it's there.
Yeah, well, then also Valentina's president.
Vice president.
But
president,
Yes.
Pretty much president.
But but you don't see the president because the president is in the raft.
Exactly right.
Also, I was going to say, even the concept of the Red Room, because it's been mentioned now for, the first probably Red Room mention was Avengers, the first Avengers. And then it's popped up a few times over the history of the franchise.
Yeah.
You don't need to re-explain that concept in this movie. They can just show all that imagery at the end when they're in the shame rooms or whatever. And you're like, I get that this was her when she was trained. There's no moment where you're like,
it was founded by Dreykov and and then Budapest,
exactly.
all that whole stuff. But speaking of Valentina, so Julia Louis-Dreyfus, now VP but acting president, and she's also the director of the CIA and head of Oscorp. And then they also introduced a character named Melissa Joan Mel Gold, her personal assistant. Are either of you familiar with Mel Gold?
The character or the no, I don't know.
I mean, I've seen the Twitter things, but no, not really.
So Mel Gold is an existing character in Marvel lore. And, dear friends, she is also very much a capital M mutant. So,
hell yeah.
Our MCU Mel does not look like the comic book version. Who knows how this is even going to happen, because Jake Shire has said, we'll probably see Mel as Songbird at some point. And it's what does that mean?
Oh, he literally said the name of the hit. Wow.
Well, yes, I think he did, because she's also wearing a Songbird necklace throughout the entire film.
I don't know that character, so
she's
I'm curious how she would get it.
Yes, exactly. And she has the power of sonic screaming. She's a songbird, so it's all vocalizations and such.
I mean, she did snitch, so she sang out.
This is what she looks like. So goldish with black outfit, pink and rose type hair.
Ooh.
Maybe she does the same procedure that Sentry does.
Ooh, that could be cool.
Ooh, that's interesting. That's very, very interesting.
Her fear of because I mean, I love that scene with Julia Dreyfus being when you've
when you
come to your senses,
job,
what
did you think this was going to be?
Yeah,
and she was like, I wanted to be a good person who changed the world.
Yeah,
it's you can't have.
And then
both.
she's just I want to do what Bob did, and it's kind of or maybe Julia, Valentina forces her to be because since Bob's not Sentry right now,
Right.
Say, well, what's going to happen when Sentry becomes Sentry?
So you need to.
And then Valentina just gaslights her into doing the procedure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That'd be wild. That'd be wild.
I liked her character a lot because I
was
don't
fun.
think they paint her out to be as like sympathetic. It's like clearly she got to that point working for Val because she was willing to do shady stuff. So
Yeah.
they don't make her like totally innocent, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
She has like a moral, like,
She's a moral
gray
compass.
line.
Yeah.
She's like, oh yeah, I'm helping out the government,
Yeah.
you know, but also like, but then she realizes like what Val does, and you're like, and she's like, is this the right thing to
She's like
do?
literally about to obliterate 5
I know
people.
that's what I was going to say. She was like sitting there being like, oh, but I wonder, that must have been the first time that she was ever confronted with doing that though.
With that
'cause-
specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because like when she talks about the Sentry Project and how like, oh, like all the what did she say? She says something like all the test subjects died.
Yeah.
And then, but if he survived, then that means it worked.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah,
she's
and-
familiar enough, but she didn't have to kill them. Obviously.
Yeah. And she kept calling like Bucky, you know?
Bucky, I need you. I was like, me too.
Yeah, girl, me
Girl,
too.
like, get
Like
in
and people are
line.
saying, like, girl, you have his number. What are you doing?
Thank you, Congressman. Yeah.
I know that would have been cool. I mean, obviously, you know, it's scenes over the phone are always like you make stuff work, but it would have
Yeah.
been cool if there would have been a scene between them at like meeting at like a diner late night or something.
yeah, sure.
And then like
Cute.
he keeps getting recognized or
Yeah,
something.
oh,
Like
that'd be so cute.
you could see, yeah.
love
I
it.
mean,
I love old man Bucky. I think he's come a very long way.
Oh, yeah.
Because the last time we saw Buck aside Brave New World was Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
And so that's like I've always liked Bucky like as a character. I loved him in the Captain America series all the way up, and I was like, damn, Steve's about to do anything for this man. But it was really Falcon and Winter Soldier for me that pushed me over because we got to see the real James Buchanan Barnes kind
Yeah.
of like come through where he was not Winter Soldier anymore. At least the definition of what Winter Soldier is.
Yeah.
And I know people love that. I love
well, the
I know
date
he's-
scene in Winter Soldier,
Yes.
in the Falcon. I think
Yeah.
that's one of my like the one.
I love
like,
it.
I mean, I'm moving currently, and I
Yeah.
have the like welcome cat, and I got it.
Oh.
I found a gold one after that series, so
I
then
love
now
it.
when you
Yeah.
ever come
Yeah.
visit me, I
Yeah.
have the gold cat,
Yes.
the
That's
one that looks
awesome.
exactly like the one from that
perfect.
show.
Yeah. And I like seeing that side of him. I mean, like
The human side of
the
him.
human side
Yeah.
of the
the
very
therapy,
personable.
the
Yeah, I
sessions.
love that. And he's, what was rule number 2? You know, that kind of stuff where he's grounded, but he's still almost hyper aware of what he can do, and he's just trying to play it down.
Okay, well, so my question to you is, I feel like this is my chance to call out new rock stars. No, I love you, Eric, but it just was funny to me like in the world we live in now. The idea that Bucky Barnes would become a senator is totally realistic. Like,
Yeah.
didn't even bat an eye.
Which
Yeah.
is funny if you think about it in retrospect, because initially people are like, when would that ever happen? And then it's
Yeah.
like, now it's like, actually,
Yeah, like
It's
I
kind
mean,
of-
honestly, that would be he would go viral.
100%, yeah.
Oh, an assassin becomes a senator.
Yeah.
Sick.
A guy
you
that
know?
used to work for the Russian
Russian government.
is now a U.S. congressman.
Yeah,
congressman.
yeah.
Or, yeah.
It's so nuts. And so yeah, the fact that we get to see him even between films and series kind of
Yeah.
make these like really organic jumps in his growth.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
and they sell it too in the movie. Like
Yeah.
like when people saw the trailers, I think it was very much like, wait, what's going on? And then
Yeah.
you watch the movie and you're like, no, it makes sense that there would be also like the notion of this rehabilitated
Yeah.
Yeah.
person,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
also he's like not very good at being a congressperson, but like people think but he's like just charming enough that
His
people would.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because and that's again the subtlety that they're kind of feeding you throughout the film, because yeah, he opens with it's just like, oh, Congress Barnes, what do you have to say about the impeachment? And he's like, this worrisome event is very worrisome. And you know, like he says worrisome like 6 times.
Yeah.
And he's still kind of like
That's so yeah.
trying to be serious.
Like
Yeah.
he wants to make a change in his life.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to be Bucky Barnes.
Yeah.
He wants to just be James.
He just
Yeah.
wants to be
And it's
James.
like, well, you can't, man. Like it's hard to
Right.
split that.
Right. And so yeah, you get this silent underscore of like, he's still fine. Because even Val says it. She's like, oh, at least you're cute.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh. And so it's kind of like gotten him through it. That he's like, okay, well, he's the Winter Soldier and he's attractive. And, he can just be congressman even though he hasn't passed a bill in his tenure.
Yeah. And also that he, like, who knows if they'll, I mean, it didn't seem like they addressed it in the post-credit sequence, but it's just like, it doesn't feel like it was something that even maybe is meant to last.
No,
that,
not at all.
He did one term and that's it.
I think
He lasted 6 months.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it was
think
like half a term, something like that. Less than half the term. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the minute he went to get the Thunderbolts, that was it.
Oh, okay.
I think
that
I think that
sense.
kind of he called it, and that's why she was like, "Oh, not even a full term, like only half a term."
That's a good point because he was throwing that position away in
Yes.
order to get Val in this in
Yeah.
the way that he knows how,
Yeah.
the way that he's better.
It was kind of like the entire season of Born Again condensed,
Pretty much.
because Matt Murdock in the entire first season is like constantly struggling. He's like, I got to leave Daredevil behind.
Sure, yeah,
I need to be Matt Murdock, and then it's kind of the similar situation in that
Yeah.
he's like, I just want to be Bucky Barnes, but I have to be Congressman Barnes, and I can't be the Winter Soldier. Then he's like, well, and he becomes the Winter Soldier, and before we get too far with Winter Soldier talk, it was, do you remember the theories that were happening when the trailer first dropped and how people were like, oh no,
is he going back to being a Winter Soldier
is
again?
he Hydra again? Why is he going after them? And the theories were all over the place, but now it's so crazy because
it's so much better. It was so much better the way it played out.
oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought Valentina was going after, had him go after them. But even that wasn't necessarily true.
No.
He was doing
No.
it on his own accord.
It's
Just like-
Valentina just being cruel.
yeah, exactly. Valentina being Valentina.
I mean, and that's who she is, right? Like,
Yeah.
she's conniving and
exactly. She's
gross.
a serpent.
And I thought JLD did so well.
Oh, she's
I was
great.
like, wow, I hate this girl.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because if you rewind back to when we first saw Valentina, right? In
Black Widow?
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Wait, no, it was a Black Widow. Post-credits scene, Black Widow.
with Yelena.
Yeah. That was the first time.
Is that
we
her
saw-
first time?
Well, I thought Winter Soldier with Falcon and Winter. Wait, was Falcon?
That was the second time.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you might be right then.
And then she,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
'cause
she was
Falcon
in,
Winter Soldier's
and
after.
then she was in Wakanda
Secret Wars.
Forever.
Oh, Wakanda
Yes, yeah.
Forever. Yes. Okay, there it is. So there's the jump, right? And so she's
Yeah.
been really like, and I remember we were talking about this and we were just like, what is her end game, right? And
Yeah.
I was like, I think she's going to form her version of the Avengers because she's ultimately taking the mantle of Nick Fury.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the
worst
grander
way
scheme.
possible.
Yeah. But then she did it.
Yeah.
She formed the new Avengers.
Unbeknownst to the team.
Right, exactly. Oh, genius. But she's so fantastic. Like, just in general, she's a great actor.
It makes me want to
she's great as
rewatch
her.
her appearances in the other movies again
Yeah.
because it felt like because they were so short, I just wasn't like,
Yeah.
you wanted to see her like let loose, which is what
Yes.
she gets to do in this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what this movie was so satisfying because you're like, this incredible actor, is supposed to be this towering villain or this, sometimes anti-hero, whatever you want to call it. I mean,
Yeah,
kind of
she's
true.
definitely-
She's more of a true villain, but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Now
For
she
sure,
is.
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
but she's posing herself as more of an anti-hero.
Yeah.
In a way. She's pretending that she's an anti-hero, but actually she's a villain.
Right.
But in those short appearances, I mean, I think still my favorite appearance of her pre this was in Hawk or
Black
in
Widow.
Black Widow. Yeah, because the way that she's kind of like, I don't know, like
like,
using
yeah,
Natasha's death to make
to get Yelena to kind of work for her and
Yeah.
everything.
This
Yeah.
man killed your sister. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
it got started. And they
at
got
the gravesite. Look,
At the
literally
gravesite.
showing up at the gravesite to be like,
With her
hey, I've
dog.
got some work for you.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Do you guys know how they filmed like that ending scene, the new Avengers announcement scene?
How?
How they so they first had the cameras on the crowd and the team would walk out and be like the Thunderbolts and they clap.
Yeah.
And then they would flip the camera to show them coming through the
Yeah.
debris, right?
Yeah.
But then it would just be them and then Val would say the new Avengers.
Yeah.
So that's how they filmed it. So like
Oh,
they
interesting.
didn't want to say new Avengers in front of the extras.
Oh, wow. What a
Yeah.
day that would have been, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I was there. They didn't say it.
Yeah. So like they didn't want to
How
have any
funny.
background extras
No.
know that they're
I
being
mean,
revealed as a new Avengers.
Well, it's kind of like Flo said. She was like, years and years and years, we have had to keep the secret.
Yeah.
that it was going to be the new Avengers. I was like, holy, wow.
I know.
That's real
They did
too.
really well.
That was the other thing I was going to say, because I interviewed some of the cast of Chaos Theory, the Jurassic animated show.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you interview somebody before
It
the
comes
season
out.
comes out.
Yeah.
And it's like, even you let them know, like, hey, this is a spoiler chat. It's going to come out after. Like we were saying earlier, it's like some of them are so...
They're scared to even say anything.
They're like, oh, we can say this out loud?
Like, are we sure?
Yeah,
Like,
are you sure? Are you sure? And I'm like, yes, it's totally fine.
Not gonna get sued.
But
Yes.
I feel like we mentioned at the top of like that Marvel said new Avengers like on Monday. But I'm like, that reveal at the end of the movie was so awesome.
It was. It
I
was a
did not
very
expect
like
it.
the payoff felt so like the shock factor of it felt so like, oh my god,
That's brilliant.
like Valentina's a snake.
yeah.
I know. But I love that it was kind of punctuated by Yelena's like, we own you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's my
Yeah.
girl.
But watching it, I don't know, like watching it again.
Yeah.
Being hurt, like when you cut to Valentina being like, "Oh, I need a lift out of
Yeah, I
here."
know,
Like,
she's so
and so
obvious.
then it like, because the first time you watch it, you're like, like
It's
we're
like,
gonna
oh,
get
they
her.
got her.
Yeah, exactly.
But then watching it again, it was just like,
Oh, she planned
she
that.
is like,
Yeah.
like,
She
hello,
planned it.
I'm over here. Like, come get, like,
Yeah,
totally laying
yeah.
the trap.
Yeah, 100%.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, and you kind of got the notion that when people were clapping for them, and she was like,
Yes, that too.
and then
That
she
too.
does
Well, yeah.
this very subtle like head tilt. You're like, oh, she's gonna use that to her advantage, and she damn well did.
And I did not clock that the first time.
yeah,
Like I
it's
remember
wild.
seeing that
Yeah.
moment, but then it hit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it hit, and it's like, oh,
Yeah, after seeing it, like the asterisk was such like such a great move, man.
I love that it was like it's quite honestly a character of its own.
Yeah,
right?
like
Well, and I don't know if you saw this too, but on Twitter, like I think it was Thursday before the film officially dropped, or maybe on Friday, people were noting that the Asterix had only 5 parts instead of 6.
I did
and I was
see
like,
that.
what is this? What
I
is this
know.
conspiracy
Like,
theory?
what do we-
And then it's because
Taskmaster does.
Taskmaster, rest in peace.
Yeah, but I think they even that reveal was always in the in the script too,
100%.
so it's like even
Well,
crazier.
we said that too. Once they revealed it at San Diego Comic-Con, to me, graphic designer eye, there's a larger space underneath the text treatment. And I was like, there's an asterisk for a reason.
Yeah.
I was like, there's going to be a subtitle under this film title. And I think they decided to, instead of just put the new Avengers, they're like, let's do the full. And then it mutated into, let's just change the entire branding and go for this marketing plan, which is crazy.
But that's why I wonder. It's like, why not? You waited all this long and did this full, beautiful,
I
like,
know.
and then just to maybe till Wednesday,
I
you know,
know.
like,
Not even a week. Like not even like a full
Thursday to, you said
72
first thing
hours.
Monday
Yeah.
morning.
Pretty much
Yeah,
Monday
that video
morning.
of Sebastian Stan in Burbank. It was like, what?
Yeah, that was
And they
hilarious.
probably filmed it the day before.
Yeah, even like the poster reveal, I was like, wow, you guys filmed this on the press tour. I
Yeah.
was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, I was like, nah, dude, come on, no,
Do it once, okay, Thunderbolts. Okay,
take it off.
do it. Okay, put it back.
Yeah,
Okay, put it back.
exactly. Oh
Crazy.
my gosh. So obviously we're going down the list here of all the Thunderbolts. So there we are also reintroduced to Red Guardian,
Yes, amazing,
Ugh, so
beautifully
fun.
by David Harbour.
amazing.
Truly
yeah.
one of the best characters that they've introduced in the last.
He's pretty much the comic relief of the group, but the most heart
Yeah.
oh yeah.
of the group.
Yeah.
He really like Flo really commands a scene. Like
Yeah.
you can't help but be enamored by her.
Yes.
That's natural. But
Oh,
there's
yeah.
something about David Harbour.
He's just
Your
got these really.
insubordinates will be reported to DoorDash HQ. I was like, what?
It's that trying to be positive while still
Yeah.
having like very sad eyes, you know?
Yeah.
You can. There's like you could like. There's a reason why he is always wanting to be positive, you
Yeah.
know. But in a way that's like you said, it's all heart.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
endearing.
He's so
Him
sweet.
and David Harbour and Flo's chemistry
So good.
is
Unbelievable.
probably
Yeah.
I mean,
amazing.
Because I've only seen Black Widow once. It's like
Really?
because it was in that weird period.
Yeah. COVID era.
And that was one. That was not my first. No, it wasn't my first Marvel screen. It might have been my first Marvel screener.
It might have been.
But I didn't get to, because I was.
Oh yeah, you didn't get to watch
in Hawaii.
it. Right?
I was in Hawaii, so I had to watch it on a laptop.
Oh, that's right.
So it's the only time
I
I've seen Black Widow is watching it on a laptop.
Oh my god!
Wow, that's crazy.
But now I want to go
That's
watch
right.
it.
Yes.
But I think to Thunderbolt's strength, I think, like you're saying, that their chemistry is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder when they were crafting this movie, if they were like, their chemistry is so good, we have to make them the focus of this.
And it's kind of like we were saying before recording, and just that scene, the scene that everybody talks about when they have definitively lost against Bob, and she goes off on him, and she's like, I'm not your, I don't know what the translate, I don't know what the Russian word is, but your little girl or whatever it is. And he's like, I'll chase you to the ends of the world. Then whatever, follow me. And then she says, you were not there. And she goes off on him.
Yeah.
But the daddy, I'm so alone line.
Dude,
Everybody
I know.
that has seen that movie is like, that's the one that
just
broke
to
me.
sneak in like that
Yeah.
depth of a conversation
Daddy, I'm so
in between
alone.
everything that's happening.
Yeah.
Like I remember when we watched it at the Capitan,
Yeah.
like it cuts to that they're talking, and then Yelena like says like I'm so or this I was like, oh, we're having a really heart-to-heart moment right now. I was like, let me lock in really quick. I was like, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
she said that I'm so alone and crying.
I'm so
I was like,
alone.
oh my God. And then he's like, don't worry, you're always my daughter. I
And
was
you
like,
see it
Jesus.
in his eyes, and he wells up a little bit.
Yes.
But he never.
And he's like, but he's also trying to like hold it back.
Yeah, he's trying to be strong, but he's also being very I'm losing my word.
Fatherly?
Putting on a brave face.
Sure. he's being very vulnerable.
Vulnerable. Oh, okay. I see.
But strong at the same time, which
Yeah.
is really adorable, and he's very good at that, especially in that role.
Yeah. Well, and I think I wonder in crafting this movie, because just seeing some bits about how the story was simplified a little bit, or like, I feel like I read something that Taskmaster is supposed to be all the way through it.
Yep.
yeah.
And to your thing of like, oh, this is a real moment. Because there were so many times in this movie where I was like, oh, the scene's going to end here.
Yeah.
But they let these actors just go for another like 30 seconds or
Yeah.
a minute
Yeah,
longer than
yeah.
you expect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they're getting to something real as opposed to like, because there are great moments in Brave New World, but it's the like compact blockbuster movie version of
Yes.
like I wonder, like, I mean, the stuff with Joaquin Torres at the end in the hospital, that to me has a bit of this Thunderbolts energy where like they're just sitting down, it's just two people.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's even like as simple as John walking with Ghost and Yelena through the desert.
yeah.
And he's like, anybody hungry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
those subtle comedic
Love it.
moments
Yeah.
that it was just so,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's
But
so
like
good.
genuinely,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
because like that character is you everyone wants you to not like him, but then every once in a while he'll do things
Oh
that
my
you're like, oh,
God.
you're right. He is like,
he
is a good guy, but just has done he's just done
Right?
a lot of bad things.
Well, and I think he's John. Speaking of John, as we roll into him,
Yes.
he's the perfect example of not having to explain at large like what has happened to this man.
Yeah.
Like they not once say
We
he took the serum. They never say it.
Oh yeah, that too.
and
like,
I almost forgot until I think you reminded me during the screening.
I was like, oh, because like he jumped
yeah,
it was the
high.
jump. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's right. He does have
He
the
has the
serum.
serum. He took
and
the serum
And then
at
it's like,
the-
okay, cool, yeah. He's super.
Yeah, but I almost feel like if we didn't know that, we just kind of like, oh well, if he was Captain America for 10 seconds, he probably got something. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
And it's like self-explanatory.
And I like that we found out his like backstory and his trauma
Mm-hmm.
in less than 90 seconds.
And that's what I think is so brilliant about the shame rooms.
Yeah.
Is that it really gives you insight into the character,
Yeah.
including Val.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, did not see that coming. And I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
almost feel bad for her.
Like, did you
actually.
notice that subtle little thing that John did when he was into his like shame room when he first touched Bob, where he was like sitting down, right?
Yeah.
And then like he's reading that article,
Yeah.
but he's ignoring his kid
Yeah.
and his wife or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then he comes, and then we go back to him overlooking the elevator shaft, and like, he looks like he's about to just like
Jump, yeah.
jump, and you're like, oh, he was ready to like
Yeah, he was in
commit
it.
suicide.
Yeah,
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But he was like, oh, what was that?
Yeah,
Like, and he was
and he
like,
looks at
yeah,
Bob
no, never
and-
mind, we're good. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then going back to like the ending of it, where Yelena, where they lost against Bob.
Yeah.
And then Yelena was like yelling at everybody, and she's like, yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
no, I see why your wife left you, John. And you're like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
Your family knows you're trash.
Yeah.
And
I
he was like,
damn.
Jesus. Yeah. everybody
Yeah.
in our screening, everyone's like, oh.
I was like, whoa, that's raw.
Yeah, and that's why we like love the fan events.
Yeah,
It's,
I
like,
have to go. I'll have
they're
to go.
Fun. They're fun. And now I'm like, gotta go on Friday, I guess. I'm so mad.
I know you have to
so
check. You have
mad.
to check like the premiere schedule.
We were convinced because the last few, we ranted about this in our last episode,
okay.
and that Deadpool, they planned it during Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So, if that starts to be a thing.
No creators came.
No creators came, nothing.
Yeah. No filmmakers.
Yeah, like for Black Widow, they had who was the director of Black Widow?
Oh my god, I forgot her name.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was present.
Yes.
That's cool.
The Marvels.
Yeah.
Iman was there,
there.
and the
Yeah.
and the costume
And the director, as well. Yeah, Nicole.
Guardians 3.
Yeah.
Everybody
showed up.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was crazy. So it was kind of like it had hit a peak because previously I've been going to them for years.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like
they were
that's-
always showing up. All
On
of them, like,
Thursdays.
they were always showing up on
on
Thursdays.
Thursday previews.
This is a big rant because they would go to New York to do the New York press.
Sure.
Yes.
But then he realized, I was like, don't tell me. On Wednesday, like Flo was like, hi from New York. And I was like,
Yes.
shoot.
So because they moved
Yeah.
the LA premiere to Mondays.
Yeah.
It used to be Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And they would just stay through the week.
Yeah.
But they moved it to Monday
Yep.
for LA premiere, and then they would fly to New York for Tuesday, Wednesday to
Yeah.
do New York press.
Yeah.
And then it would end there.
Yeah.
And then they would wait until the weekend to start promoting more
But
things.
these people flew to New York and then flew back.
They flew back to LA.
for the Friday showing. And I was like, oh my God. And I almost went. I almost went to that one too. And now I'm just like, well,
And everybody, like Flo came out.
the entire cast.
Yeah, I know, you
was
showed
there.
me.
Yeah,
I was like,
I was so
I sent
upset.
it to Dai. I was like, I'm gonna kill myself.
So
No,
upset.
the void has taken over.
Exactly.
Jeff, the void has
But-
taken over.
Your
That's
safe
a
little
For
one.
what it's worth, we got the better giveaway
We
on
did.
Thursday.
Our giveaway was fantastic.
It was a tactical
Thunderbolts bag.
Okay.
It was a tote bag.
Yeah, I can show it to you after.
Wait,
It's
I was
fantastic.
your shame room is you at El Capitan, and the cast of Thunderbolts are beating you up.
Yeah.
And it's like that. It's like that scene in Interstellar where Matthew McConaughey
Yes.
is stuck. He's like, no,
That's me.
no,
That's me.
don't do it.
That's me. 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like it's
that-
one thing
I
if
was so
like
angry.
if one of them come out,
But
it's
the entire freaking cast.
director,
Yeah.
the cat. I
Literally
was like,
everyone.
Literally.
literally.
Oh, gosh.
But we move.
Yeah, exactly. And so before we go too far in to US Agent and Ghost and the rest of the folks, I wanted to ask you guys a pop quiz.
What?
Pop quiz. All right. We'll see
All right,
who
we
get,
got
we'll
this
see who
seated.
get we'll see who gets this
Okay,
one.
okay.
Oh no, we're competing against each
Yeah,
other.
I mean, you can
okay.
if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Tell me the full name
Damn it.
and the sponsor of Yelena's Pee Wee soccer team.
Oh no.
Well, it's the
Full
Chesapeake
name.
Bay Thunderbolts.
You're almost there.
But there's the like Shane's Garage is one of them, right?
So close.
Shane's Tire Store.
So close. You're like 97%.
And then there's the other one, which is
Wow.
the
There
like,
is another one.
Oh, I can't remember the other one.
Chesapeake Thunderbolts sponsored by the?
So like that's the way to remember
That's
it.
how I remember that. I didn't.
God,
Really,
you're so close. You're so close to. Do you just want it?
dude, that's so.
Come on, Jeff.
I wish you
Shane's
would've-
Tire Emporium.
No, you're still very close though.
I didn't pay attention to the.
It's hard. It was hard.
was-
El Capitan sound quality is terrible. So, like, okay, so Steven got it, but still not quite 100%. The West Chesapeake Valley Thunderbolts,
Oh, West Chesapeake.
sponsored by Shane's Tire Shop.
Shop.
And then, to which Alexi corrects Yelena, Dimitri's Industrial Lights.
That's where it was. The industrial
She's like,
light.
no, it
Industrial.
was Shane's Tire Shop. And he's like, the Dimitri's
Industrial
Industrial
Lights.
lights.
Yes.
Dude,
Well
that
done.
is
Well done.
hilarious.
But I love that everybody's like Chesapeake Valley Thunderbolts.
That I also thought was
Everybody
really
knows.
clever too with the
Yeah.
name because it's
And Mindy, who took a poop in the middle of the field.
Yeah, like they used they're like, you're like, oh, like Thunderbolts. It's like, oh, they're created because of Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
And you're like,
right.
well,
right.
and then you're like, well, he's
No,
not.
he's
in
not
the,
here.
Not
he's not.
connected at
Yeah,
all.
that's impossible. So
Not
how
at all.
so it's like, how do we get that name? And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
it was her youth soccer team.
So cute. Go Thunderbolts.
and yeah, again, why this movie was so clever, where it's they were like, it is interesting that they had this Brave New World. So they brought, I mean, obviously Harrison Ford recast, but they were just like, there's no way we're gonna square this T, so we have to figure out another way. But then I also feel like in the MCU, it seems like they don't often feel the need to explain stuff, or when they do, like, I don't know, it's just like, it's like a cool name, so why not make it more about backstory rather than like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit here and come up with the name, like,
Yeah.
but then this movie also does the opposite with Sentry, where it's like,
Yeah.
there's a workshop and there's meetings and there's
Yeah.
diagrams
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the name of the Thunderbolts is kind of like the similar like reveal of how Nick Fury lost his eye.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you're
everyone
like,
was,
whoa,
everyone was so mad.
Wolverine?
Yeah,
A grenade? Like in the comments, like, no, it was.
no, it was Goose.
It was Goose.
Oh,
They just scratched his
Goose.
eye.
Yeah, right.
Everyone was
Yeah.
so mad.
Everyone was so
really?
angry.
I don't.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
People were very upset.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people were upset.
He's like, last time, because like because it was the line in I forget which Cap movie it was, where
Yeah.
he was like, last time I trusted somebody, I lost an
Oh
eye.
yeah, Winter
Yeah.
Soldier.
And you're like, oh my god,
He's Winter
who
Soldier,
was
yeah.
it? Who did him dirty?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it
Everybody's
was,
like Wolverine.
It was Goose. It was a cat.
Yeah, it was literally a cat.
no,
I
it was a
love
flirkin.
It was a
Flirkin.
flirkin. Oh, you got,
True.
yeah,
I
that's true.
stand.
That's true.
Corrected.
Look, I met Reggie.
Yeah, I
Played-
know.
He was one
I'm
of the
so
four cats that
jealous.
played.
Oh, Reggie,
that was in my last
buddy.
episode, but
I love him.
so
love him.
that's still one of the best.
So good.
So
Things that-
this
Yeah.
is the same thing. It's kind of like, oh, Thunderbolts. How are they gonna get the name? You
Yeah.
know? And it's like the youth team.
Yeah, I know. It's so good.
Yeah.
Love the throwback. And also, again, it gives us a little insight into their relationship.
Yeah.
And we were so bad. They were, terrible.
We didn't win a game.
Yeah, exactly. And also their dynamic and the
Yeah,
father-daughter
yeah.
thing, which was really great. And then, of course, R.I.P. Taskmaster. And so, speaking to your point that as we've uncovered through all these reveals on social, yeah, Taskmaster was supposed to be threaded throughout most, if not the entire film.
Wow.
Initially.
Yes.
And so henceforth the marketing is she's there. And everything. And
Yeah.
they ended up killing her in the first 10 minutes. Joel Miller style.
Lasts longer than we thought.
Yeah.
But her death was like sudden.
Very sudden. I was quite shocked.
Really?
I
Okay.
was actually really shocked.
I thought there was gonna be like some long list of like,
yeah.
elongated a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was more of just like Ghost pops up, boom, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess she's
Oh,
dead.
she's dead now. Well, because my whole theory was that she was gonna turn, like she was just gonna betray everybody,
Okay.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she would be like Val's ultimate, red herring.
interesting.
But yeah, instead she's dead.
I mean, I like the line that
So amazing.
Yelena says about
Yeah.
like it's almost like maybe at some point they decided maybe we're using Taskmaster as an example of what normally happens to these like lower tier characters.
No, that was genius.
Where I'm like, okay, it's almost
Yeah.
just like we're actually getting to see the story beyond what normally happens to
Yeah.
these types of characters.
Well, yeah, and she says something like, she killed a lot of people and then she got killed. That will happen to us someday. Yeah,
It's a shit life.
Yeah, basically. and yeah, it's true. It's like somebody had to be the example, and they just
Yeah.
happened to actually just expedite that. They were like, well, you're just gonna get it at the top of the movie.
Yeah.
Because let's not.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where
around.
else could they have done that? Like,
Right.
if she
Because
had-
if the whole bit was that she was gonna keep forgetting, she was gonna have memory issues.
Yes, I read
And
that,
she
yeah.
was gonna keep trying to kill Walker, of all
Yes.
people, which would have been hilarious. Let's be
Yes.
honest. So. But I don't know. I also don't know where she would. I guess maybe the Sentry.
Yeah,
when
maybe
Sentry's
Sentry would have
finally-
killed her at the
would have
end.
killed her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They'd
he
be
just
like,
would have
"Oh,
killed her.
shoot."
Yeah, exactly, and then it
Yeah.
would have been over. But yeah, I think what they ended up doing, sad for Olga, only
Yeah.
being in so
And
little
she's still
of the
part
film.
of like that marketing too. She was part of
Yeah.
the poster reveal of the new
yeah,
Avengers.
yeah,
And so people were just like, Damn, that's messed up. You guys still had her there.
I don't know. Have you seen this?
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
She's still there.
So we're gonna spoil the name, but we're not gonna spoil her death. I guess.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Yeah.
Have you seen that TikTok that a few kids made? They were dressed as Bucky, U.S. agent, Ghost, and Taskmaster.
Oh no.
Wow.
They go in. They film themselves going in to enjoy the movie.
Yes.
And then they're like leaving Thunderbolts, and they're carrying Taskmaster.
Oh no.
It's like,
Oh my God. Please send that to me. Oh my
I
God,
will.
that
I
sounds
will.
hilarious.
God.
pretty genius. It's pretty genius. And so speaking of Sentry, we have Bob, portrayed by Lewis Pullman. Bob.
Dude, Lewis? Wow.
Okay, let me just very quickly preface. Let's recall that Stephen Yeun was
Yes.
originally cast.
I saw this
role.
discourse. I saw this discourse.
Look.
I mean, he would have been a great. Like, imagine.
Oh, he would have killed it.
I
like in
love
that
him.
Sentry outfit, he would have. I mean,
I
he looks
love
great,
Stephen
but like
Yeun.
that would have been such a great look.
I love Stephen Yeun.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have hit the same in retrospect.
I mean, a different
Well, you
kind
say,
of
you
actor.
say that now because you've seen Lewis do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Because he's I don't know how familiar you are with Bill Pullman, his dad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Amazing.
a very similar acting style.
Yeah, amazing game.
Very
Yeah.
interesting. So knowing Steven, not this Steven, but the other Steven.
No, I mean that's
so
why I love
curious.
Stephen Yeun because he's a fellow Stephen
he's-
with a V, so we
Yeah,
gotta wrap.
Steven with a V.
Steven with a V.
I mean, I'm so
Yeah.
morbidly curious. What
Like
it would have been like.
he doesn't get casted for like no reason.
No,
you know?
for sure.
He read.
Yeah.
He screen tested.
He was Sentry.
Yes.
Until he wasn't.
until
Was it-
scheduling.
Yeah.
It was scheduling because of the
Scheduling.
strikes and everything.
Mickey
Oh,
17.
Yeah.
So he took Mickey 17 instead.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
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 So it's like
Yeah, it's very
I
interesting.
feel like he would have killed it.
Yeah.
But it's even better to know that they casted someone who could also
still
killed
pull it off. I know. I was
Yeah.
like, oh God, when he got recasted, I was like, well, there goes the movie. I was worried. But no, you
but
proved me
now
wrong.
it's like
Yeah.
now Stephen Yeun can play somebody else in the MCU.
No, and that thankfully
Exactly.
they have said that they still want him.
Yes.
Oh,
They
you're-
still
yeah.
want him to come back
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
somebody. And I'm like, okay, great. We're still in business then because love to see
it's
him.
funny. So it's funny that it's not weird that
Invincible is playing Sentry.
no. Oh, what was it? It was like Lewis Pullman has played two characters named Bob.
Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
'Cause of,
if I had a nickel for every time
Top
Lewis
Gun.
Pullman played a character named Bob, I'd have 2 nickels.
Oh, God.
There's nothing wrong with it,
Yeah.
but it's just weird.
It's just funny. Yeah. And he kind of, I have, from the clips I've seen,
Yeah.
he says the name exactly the same.
I-
Like, my
this-
name's Bob.
I think maybe I texted you that observation, but I was like, this is the most amount of times meth has been said out
I
loud in a
know.
Marvel movie.
Risque.
I was on meth, okay?
No, the chicken.
He's
Yeah.
great.
He's
I thought he killed
fantastic.
it. I feel
Yeah, I
like
think
he
did
really
great.
distinguished his 3 personalities from
Sure.
Avoid, Bob, and Sentry.
Yeah.
Like him as Sentry, I was like, whoa. But then him as Void, I was like, whoa.
The wonder in Jeff's eyes when he looked at me and was like, what? Because like Sentry
I
is
was
not
like,
familiar
who
with
is
Sentry.
this guy? I
Yeah.
was like, I've never, because I don't know
Yeah.
any of
That's
this
right,
guy.
yeah.
I don't know this
Yeah.
character at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I the one thing I knew was that the notion of that, or at least in the comics, when they introduced him, they were like, "Oh, he's always been here, but he was erased."
Yeah.
Like that was the thing that I knew about
Which
this
is probably
character.
why you may have seen or heard on social media that the original plot line, or at least for Sentry, was that he was going to adopt that storyline from the comics and that the world forgot he had existed. But because of Spider-Man No Way Home, they had to scrub that idea because
Yeah.
they would basically
Oh,
be
because it was.
doing it
That's
the same.
right. I remember.
Yeah.
Lewis did an interview and he mentioned
Yeah,
that. Yes.
yeah. So
Well, and-
it's interesting.
And that's the thing with like MCU, like where they've been successful in some ways more than others, where they're like, okay, like we're showing more history of this universe. I mean, and with Fantastic Four coming up, they're like, well, we're actually going to a different alternate reality because we can't just make it so that the Fantastic Four were always in this version of the
Right.
MCU.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
but I like but the I mean, it had the coolest opening of the Michael Giacchino's theme, like fading out, and then the like Marvel logo fading to black, and then having it
Oh,
be
yeah.
all
Yeah.
Sentry Comics in the.
And yeah.
That was something I saw about where I didn't notice that Sentry part of it, but
It was so interesting because like when it started to turn black and like the sound started to like
all the
go away,
instruments
I
were
was
fading
like,
out.
I was like, oh, that's. It immediately set a tone for me. I was like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah, it's such a spooky way because we're so used to that title. I love it when
Yeah.
I love it when
fanfare.
studios do that with title sequences.
Yeah.
They had the the Scott Pilgrim did the 8-bit Universal.
Yes.
They
Yes,
had
yes,
the
yes,
Minions
yes.
do that. Like
Yeah.
anytime
It's cool.
they mess with the logo.
Yeah.
It's,
So I loved him as Sentry. And then when they did that fight scene to show off his powers,
Yeah.
I literally turned to Dai. I was like, "This is what he can do." And then Dai was like, "He's basically the Marvel Superman." And I was like, "Oh, they're so screwed." I was like, "Oh god."
it's kind of a scary sequence.
It's very
Yeah.
scary
And
because
it-
you really see that.
And he's not even like using his full power.
No,
he
he's
doesn't
just
want to hurt
kinda
them.
like-
He's just like, they're my friends.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, he's not even at his full potential at that point in the movie at all.
Yeah.
Like he has just learned to kind of control what he was already
Yeah.
able to control, and that's kind of it. But you can tell he's learning as he's going about it. So they're almost giving him a tutorial on
Yeah.
how to kick everybody's asses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to go in and for all of them to come in the way they do, and like Elaine is just like adamant, like stop,
Yeah, just stop, like-
they're all trying
Yeah.
to not hurt each other. Red Guardian even says we're not going to kill people,
Yeah.
and then Val's like, oh no, we're not going to kill people. I'm just going to kill you.
Yeah, that was good.
See it 4 times. You might pick it up too.
Wait, so my question, because I think that whole idea of Julia Dreyfus, like, where she's going into the bedroom, that
Yeah.
weird little
The
creepy
motherly,
bedrooms.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, she's so fake, man."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, look at this like IKEA furniture that's in here that they threw.
Yeah.
Pissed me off.
With the little belt buckle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's just like, does this make me look motherly, or
maternal,
or whatever?
Yeah.
So spooky.
So spooky.
But my question, because there's maybe like 1 or 2 scenes where she's kind of like working with him. Do you
Yeah.
think that they had more of that? Because I almost wish that there was more
Maybe.
of showing
I'm
her
sure.
manipulating him.
I'm sure there was like Eli, and then they just had to cut for time to show
Yeah.
like what they had to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that during that sequence, I was like, "Oh my god, you're such a liar!" I was
Yeah.
like, "Stop!" And then
Yeah.
when Bob he's like, "I'm special" or something, whatever he
Yeah.
says.
Yeah.
I was just
I'm
like,
perfect.
I was like, "No,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
damn it."
Well, and then you kind of get the idea of what she's doing, obviously.
Yeah.
But because she's like, no one else knows you. I
I
know
know
you.
Yeah.
I was like,
Ugh.
get out of here.
That pissed me
I was
off.
like, red flag.
Internally, that line pissed me off.
Yeah.
I was like, "No, she doesn't."
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly. Right. Which, of course, again, so cleverly scripted, because when Yelena then says it, "This is not you, Bob. I know you," and he's like, "I don't think you do," and you're like, "Oh, actually."
And you're like, "What?"
Because he's already heard it. And he's
Yeah.
already processing that Val is absolute horseshit.
Manipulating, yeah.
Yeah. And so now he's
Yeah.
like, wait, Val's definitely horseshit.
Yeah.
She horseshit? Because they already had that experience. Like,
Yeah.
you can trust me. And he's like, can I? And she's like, no. So
Yeah.
they're all, it's one domino after another that they're laying into each other. And they
Yeah.
don't realize they've sabotaged themselves.
Yeah, that's a great point.
It's
yeah.
so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why it was just so
Yeah.
fascinating for the whole finale of this movie to be like this practical
Yeah.
Michel Gondry-esque, like,
Right.
everything everywhere all at once, like
Yeah.
physical sets. Like it's not a
Oh,
big
it was
CGI
so-
battle.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's fantastic, and you understand the reason as to why this method is working.
yeah,
is
for sure.
Amazing, because obviously it's like Yelena trying to reassure him, like, "Oh, you are not alone."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know people were like having that, like, they were just when they first saw it, they're like, "Oh, they won with the power of love." It's like, no.
No.
Hold on a second. As the Thunderbolts are all coming together, it's not so much that they're hugging him. It's quite literally that
Well,
it
they're
took-
stopping him from
They're stopping
killing
him.
Yeah, 'cause
Right.
killing his void
Yelena-
or
himself.
releasing that
Right.
void.
Yeah, because like once he does
Consuming,
that,
yeah, being
once
consumed by it.
once he consumes like
Yeah,
that,
he's over.
He will
Yeah, he's
fully
done.
be
Right.
the void.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like Yelena is hugging him. But Bucky is, if you pay very close attention, even though it looks like a group cuddle, it probably is in a lot of respects. You see Bucky pulling, you see
Yeah.
Walker pulling, you see Guardian come in,
Ghost,
pulling.
yeah,
They're all
pulling.
pulling
Yeah.
except for Yelena. She's hugging. So it's interesting that like there's that subtle dynamic of like brute power and also the power of togetherness and the power of friendship and the power of love and together.
The Guardians beat Ronan by just
Dancing.
holding hands.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. And I think, and again, like who knew Guardians was going to be a sensation?
Exactly.
Look what
But
happened.
that's like one of the most iconic
Yeah.
like scenes
Finale,
ever.
yeah,
Exactly.
the dance
You
off.
said
Yeah.
it
Dance
yourself, bitch.
Guardians
exactly.
of the Galaxy.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
the
not
same.
corny. It's just like it works.
Right. And so it's curious to see when people are really like digesting that moment because it's sure, obviously it's the villain of the film is depression as much as it isn't, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's Val. It's
That
Val
is.
is the villain, but
Yeah.
the overarching
But it's battling
thing.
like your internal emotions
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
depression and
exactly. Ugh, tears. Yeah.
Dude,
and
so good.
So incredible.
And again, just the way that they were able to, but also even with using the effect of the void being so spooky as well, because it's, I think after they do the snap and that kind of, I mean, it's very effective, obviously, but it's like you couldn't do something like that again because you're just going to compare it. So
yeah.
it
oh
feels-
yeah. The
Yeah.
Yes.
Or when the blip happens,
Yeah.
you know, and people are kind of fading away. Like you're
Yeah.
never gonna top that.
No.
So this very
This
like
was so close.
like-
it was so close.
but this very like graphical like boom smush.
yeah. Well, you both sent me similar memes.
Oh yeah.
I don't
of,
think
like,
I told you.
street art of like
yeah.
of,
You
of
sent
an
me one
outline.
too.
I was driving in LA and I was passing by a school and there's paintings of like, silhouettes of children, and and it's just in black, and I was like, oh my god.
you were like,
No,
oh,
it's
these
like,
poor
ooh,
souls.
Bob's
These poor
handiwork,
children.
you know.
I was like, what do you think their rooms look like?
And then Steven sent me one very, very
Yeah, it
similar.
was like a
and I
little
was
girl
like,
holding an umbrella.
I
but-
was like, oh my God, Jeff sent me the same thing like last
oh, I
week.
can't not see that.
So
Dude,
funny.
yeah, like it's hilarious.
But also because it's kids.
It's
and
kids.
so
It's kids, yeah.
when they said,
Well,
speaking of that
that
scene,
child,
like Red Guardian, being
Every-
like don't worry, I saved you, little girl.
you're safe, little
You're
one.
safe. And he hears, whoo, and you're like, oh my god.
yeah, seeing that in
dark.
the theater was amazing.
That
I was
was
like, oh my god.
Every
so
time I saw
funny.
it.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's so incredible because it's so effective.
Well, in a way,
Every single time.
Well, in a way, it was almost weird watching it the first time because it is that kind of thing where they all team up and they all gone their separate
Yeah.
ways. They're at their lowest,
Yeah.
and then the scene with Yelena and David Harbour, a Red Guardian,
Yeah.
like goes on. Like, so you're like in this very vulnerable, like, oh, I'm watching like a drama, like, and then as they reveal, the void, and it's almost like that cartoony, like, I'm a little girl on the street, and you're like, why is this
Yeah.
random, like, adorable little girl,
Yeah.
like, just walking by
Mom?
herself in the.
She says it too. I don't think you heard it in the first one. She's like, "Mom."
I
So
didn't
good.
even know.
Like it's so over the top cartoony in a way, but I think it's to
Right.
make that impact
But
when
it's
she
just
gets
it,
voided.
yeah.
It makes
'Cause
it
it's
comic
like
book
she's
horrifying.
looking for her mother. She has this adorable little. She's a little
Yeah.
girl, and then this giant boulder's coming.
Yeah, like
and then
everything's
Guardian saves
falling
the day.
around her.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh, this is the cliche like
the
what.
fruit cart in the way
Yeah.
of the car.
This is the
go-
hero moment.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
here.
and then boom.
And it's like, I got you.
But I said this to I think it was Joe Liz. I was like, can you imagine what that little one's shame room must be? Is it just like her dropping ice cream over and over
Yeah,
again?
aw.
Like, what is it?
Like, why am I
oh.
stuck here?
Yeah, exactly. Like
She's
lost
like
a
a little
bunny.
kid going
like,
on childhood auditions
yeah.
or something. You know,
Oh,
like
God.
Dude, yeah, that
Yeah.
was, or then also Sentry or Bob as the
The
Void.
void. Yeah.
That's scary too. I was trying so hard. I was like, did they give this guy a face? He's just a
Yeah.
straight,
just the eyes.
just the eyes.
I'm very curious how they filmed that too.
yeah, it's just black and
He's just
his
a
eye.
void, yeah. Pinhole eyes.
Pinhole eye.
Always do the job.
And did you see that poster of the Void where
Yeah.
Yelena is
It's
the
Yelena.
eyes?
no.
Yeah,
It's one of the newer releases.
One of the newer posters.
It's just like a quarter or shoulders up Bob or the Void, and you see his eyes and just his
And if you
thunderbolts.
zoom in,
If you
it's
zoom,
Yelena.
yeah, it's Yelena in
It's
his
kinda
vision.
crazy.
It's creepy as hell.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I do see this.
It's so crazy. I was
even
like, whoa.
even like his voice as the Void.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, he is
Yeah.
frightening.
You said it yourself. We're all alone.
I was like, oh man, this is scary. I was
It was
like-
actually terrifying.
Yeah.
Because it's also very real, right? It's like a I don't know,
yeah,
like a dramatic reading of what depression is.
yes.
But that's why we love it.
It's
so
such a
much.
double
It's-
entendre too, because
yeah.
people are always like, I'm stuck in a void right now.
Right.
It's like,
Well, she says it in the first line or
Yeah.
paragraph of the film, you know?
Yeah.
it's like a void.
It feels like
Stuck in a void. Yeah.
Well, and it's like you could imagine if this was like if they needed to make this. I mean, obviously it's still a huge spectacle, a big summer movie, but if they had to give it the sort of CGI big, like maybe more traditional Marvel ending sequence, you'd have like his little void baddies like spring off of him, and they'd be like the putties from Power Rangers. You know, it's like there's a version of this where they maybe it's like they really balance the like literalness of it of like this is a superhero that has this like villain demon inside them, but then also being like being very real, like and not necessarily needing to make it literal like
Yes.
CGI baddies like
Yeah.
falling off of him to like
Yeah.
take
Right.
out the heroes.
I think that's why this movie is also done really well and connected and really able to feel connected to, because it's about a topic that's it's a superhero movie where it's not like a bad guy, good guy, you want to be, I want to take over the world. It's like it's an issue that everyone relates with, like, so it's like the Thanos thing, like like we can relate with, okay, not everybody can relate to Thanos, but
this was right.
but like that conflict of like, you're like, oh man, maybe he's not a bad guy. He just wants he just wanted to do good for his world by, you know, snapping all of 50% of life, and so the other half could thrive. And same thing with this one. It's just like with Thunderbolts, is like, it's like, oh no, it's not about them trying to beat a big baddie. It's them battling their internal emotions, and it just happens to be centered around you know,
mental health.
Yes.
And I think what I really like about that scene that they're once again like portraying and reading so beautifully as their characters is that like Yelena, you know, when she admits that the way you just stuff it down isn't true, and it was kind of like a floral version of how to deal with it. She's trying to pull him out of it, and then when shit gets going, and he literally tells her, he's like, death isn't so bad, like there's no pain here, like and that's a very real like sensation, right? And so the way that they pull it into dialogue and really kind of give like a visual representation of what it feels like and what it can feel like, because they were choking at the same time and things are just chaotic and stuff, is I thought it was really good. And Florence does these subtle things in her acting before all that, when she's just like listening to him and she's just, you don't even have to see her face. You can tell by the way that she's sitting there looking at him, and then she has her hand on his like forearm or something. And he just kind of like, he does this little bob cry.
He's actually like, she's paying attention
She's
to
paying
him.
She's present, which is like, damn.
Someone said, or someone caught, I saw it on Twitter, when Yelena goes to Bob's like room at the end, it's dark, but every time Yelena makes eye contact with him or walks toward him, light shines a little bit brighter behind him.
Oh, whoa.
I said this to my friend. I said this to a friend as well. And I said, they have cleverly done the things that we're very used to seeing. I'm with you till the end of the line. I'm with you till the end. On your left. They do the callback. It's a callback. And they do it in every
Yelena
movie.
leaping off a building and her sister fell off the cliff.
Stephen. Oh, Stephen.
That's good.
Oh, Stephen.
Hey.
So they do the callback. And so, and it's one of those things because it's Alexei that says it. He's the one that plants it twice. He says, oh, when you were little, every time you walk into a room, it gets brighter. Says it twice. But in a way that's very natural, that you're not supposed to be like, oh, he said that already. That's weird. But then
it's just like a cute dad thing.
A cute dad thing. But the fact that in this callback, it's not like the on your left where it's the same person saying it. It's the subtlety of, yes, they're in this dark room. And that's why I think the lighting and the photography is the way it is. Because if you pay attention to the scene, and I noticed this the first time I saw it, when she's looking at him, the same exact scenario I was just talking about, and when she's looking at him and you can tell it's affecting him positively, the light almost pulses, like you see it kind of go like this, and it like recesses and it goes again. and you can tell like, oh, this is her actually pulling him away from
and like
the
that light
darkness.
represents like him. Of
Yes.
Like it's like oh I don't
Yeah.
know, but then I don't
Yeah, and it's her presence. It's
Yeah.
her presence, like being able to walk into a room and like she makes everyone feel loved or like
Yeah.
you know, it's so good. It's so good. Freaking
it's
love
a really
it.
good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how everyone, all the rest of the team were able to find their way
Yeah.
to his room. Everyone's like,
I know.
like, and then the others, like everyone's like, "Are you guys okay?" Like,
But that
She
callback to
checked
Bucky,
in with them, yeah.
the,
Yeah,
the
Bucky, yeah.
callback to Bucky, like to your point, is that we didn't have to relive
yeah,
the
I
entire
love
saga.
Bucky's callback. He's like, I know my pain. I'm good.
Yeah, just and the fact that he was able to laugh it off
yeah,
also
yeah,
says a lot
because
about
he's
the
been
character.
like he's grown a lot.
He's
so it's like,
grown a
I'm
tremendous.
good.
Yeah.
Well, and I wonder if it's a thing that only like MCU could do. Like that's how I felt about No Way Home, where it's like this movie could only be made now at this specific time with all the history, where like
Sure.
so many people loved Andrew Garfield, despite most people probably never even seeing those two Spider-Man
Yeah.
movies. I've never seen them, and I got
really?
emotional watching those
Oh,
scenes.
wow, yeah.
But it's like at this point now, like you know how you were saying earlier about liking the character of Bucky Barnes. Obviously, we love Sebastian Stan, but like we're now at the point in the MCU where even if maybe there wasn't as many people that had seen Winter Soldier, the show, like Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes has been around long enough that we get this without actually having to see it again.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So shall we talk about the 14-month time jump?
Okay.
So, which is currently apparently officially set in 2026/2027 in
Okay.
the MCU. So this is kind of what we were talking about earlier, in that Bucky's initial appearance in the hospital with Sam is that point in time. They're both aligned. Then we jump to Thunderbolts beginning. But at this point in the movie, this is after the Hulk fight. This is way after that. Sam has presumably pulled together his own team by now.
And is this post-credit scene set during Doomsday?
I'm
Or is it
assuming
like-
it's probably at the start of it.
It's the
Okay.
very start, yeah.
Or it pretends it.
Yeah.
It pretends it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
They've been Avengers for new Avengers for more than a year.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
exactly right.
Yes.
Exactly right. And so, and also which we didn't talk about earlier, they now have assumed Stark Tower.
Yes, they're in Stark
Their
Tower.
watchtower is
Yes.
the old Stark Tower. So it is government property per Val.
Yes.
And they've acclimated pretty well, if you ask me, except for
It
John
seems
Walker.
like they've done a lot of Avengering.
I love that John Shield still is a taco.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're like, damn, like the government couldn't even hook you up, man. Like,
know,
I
like,
know
oh, like, bro.
we're not in a good relationship with Wakanda, but
Yeah,
damn, like,
exactly.
they couldn't get you a new shield.
I know, right? You got
Maybe it's that thing where you could like hook a bad guy with the taco,
Yeah, I know.
and that
Maybe
just
he
like
likes
it's almost like
it.
a claw, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then yes, so Captain America, the real one, he forms his own team.
Yes.
We don't know what that team
We don't know
looks
who they
like.
are, yeah.
So I'm so curious on how that story and how they come together. If
Yeah.
they're beefing. Well, technically they are beefing.
They are technically
Yeah.
beefing because mom and dad are fighting. So if mom and dad are fighting,
Dad, But who's the dad? Or is it just
Sam is the dad.
Sam is the dad?
Bucky's the mom.
Yeah, Bucky's definitely the mom.
I was totally thinking
Yeah.
about like who.
Oh
like
no.
Val and
Well, they're mom and dad, and then Yelena and Bucky are also mom
how'd
and
he
dad.
take it? Not well.
Yeah, like oh God. So he has talked to Sam, and they're in a dispute, trademark dispute. Henceforth, the
So funny.
copyright on all social media.
On Avengers. That's so funny.
I know
Avengers
it's such
with
a
Z.
specific thing that it's like
It's so
again, you
funny.
could only do this
Yeah.
after
Oh, then did you see
15
on the,
years,
the
20
Avenger-
years.
The Avengers Twitter like name. There's a copyright logo.
Yeah.
Next to it.
Yeah, exactly.
As a joke. It's just like
so good.
and you're like, damn, that's funny as hell.
Yeah.
It is exactly.
Oh, that was for we're I think maybe before the recording talking about the chairs for Doomsday. Is Julie Louis-Dreyfus coming back for?
I think so, right? She's on there, isn't she?
She might be.
I thought she was on the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, she might be.
I think she was on the first round.
Because
So-
that to me makes it. It's like it's just such a cool vote of confidence for this movie that they made this post-credit sequence.
Yeah.
Even though I heard it was filmed only like a month ago.
Yeah.
About a month and a half ago.
Month and a half ago by the Russo brothers.
The Russos directed it.
But it's like, yeah, the Thunderbolts like are gonna be part of Doomsday
Yeah.
in a meaningful way.
Have to.
Or
Oh, yeah.
Have to.
presumably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
How do we feel? How do we feel about the vibe?
The
and
looks.
The looks.
I love the suits. I can't lie.
I know.
like the suits.
I was
Yeah.
trying to look up pictures of the suits because like I feel like they all looked really sharp.
Well, yeah, because that was kind of my thing about like the glow up again.
Yeah.
We talk about the glow up a lot in all these films, and so Yelena alone in Black Widow, her suit was the white one. It was kind of clunky. This is like not perfectly fitted. And then you go to Hawkeye, and she's got some sleeker looks because she's obviously making money. She's got her own stuff together. Great.
Yeah.
And then we arrive at Thunderbolts, Yelena, and she's kind of got this gray, like green, like
Workman-like.
sort of like it's fine, sure.
Yes.
She's gonna probably tear it and get rid of it anyway, so she's not too focused on it. But the new Avengers one, you see, it's a little more tightened up. Like the shoulder pads are actually fitted. It's more like Natasha's Evolution, in that it fits her well.
Yeah.
And so, but it's still green. Still green.
Has a little hint of her
Yeah.
personality. What about Dai?
Yes.
Bucky's hair.
I mean, it's fine. Yeah. Like, it's so funny because I got so used to this hair.
Yeah.
I was mortified by this hair at first. I was like, oh God, what did they do? And then
Really,
I was
I hated the Winter Soldier, his short hair.
I like his short hair.
I don't like his short hair.
But it's very Sebastian Stan, too.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I mean, he
don't
looks
know.
great,
He always
obviously,
has good
but-
hair. It's fine.
Yes.
But I was like, oh, he's got like locks.
Yes.
Locks happening.
Yes.
Interesting. Not a wig. Apparently not a wig.
Yes.
It was his real hair before he shaved it.
Yeah.
I think he looks good. It is a callback to a current-ish costume he has in the
Okay.
comics. There is a rival skin that's modeled after it that's more accurate,
Got it.
but it's rivalized, obviously, so it's
Yeah.
like a lot chunkier and
Yeah,
armory.
yeah.
But this part of the suit, the chest part of the suit is a little bulkier than I thought it would need to
Okay.
be. I want to see him tightened up
Yeah.
in the next one.
yeah.
But the red star, he has that
Yeah,
and
that's
his
cool.
arm, and he has like that poncho almost cape
Yeah.
in the comics, and I'm like, I want to see that. And he's a man bun. So I kind of want to see that.
I like
looks
Ghost's
great.
hair. Go
Yeah,
her
to
little
Luke.
her little bob.
Her little bob.
Yeah. I
Well,
was
it's
like,
her turn because they all had bobs.
Yeah.
Bobs.
Bob.
Yeah, all the bobs.
Bob.
And a bob.
Yeah, exactly. And then Alexi
In his
my God,
racer
it's
suit.
sealed.
It's so
butt.
ugly, but in the best way. Somebody was
Sealed
saying
butt.
that the sponsors are all genuine.
Yeah, they're all real.
Marvel sponsors.
It's like Tide
Love
and
that.
Red
Love
Bull.
that.
It's all real.
And
all
it's
real.
like, and it makes sense that he's wearing it because, like, who else is gonna wear this freaking suit?
I got one
race-
for you. I got one for you. I got one
Avengers
for
with
you.
a Z. That is how we get around.
And what I love most of all is that if you look closely, you can tell he slapped a Z
Over
to the S.
No, it truly looks like, just like a quick
just,
slap job.
He just fixed it.
I love that. I love
It's
that
good
Bob
now.
is still just Bob
Yeah.
because if
His
he's
hair is turning sort of sandy blonde.
yeah, like if he's anything, like he can't be Sentry without the other guy.
Right.
Funny, that's funny. It's like the
I'm
modern day.
curious how
Yeah.
that's gonna.
Because honestly, if he's Sentry, he's beating everybody.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, him versus Captain Marvel, like, or Photon at this rate,
Yeah.
like, holy.
And then we get that kicker at the end where
The kicker
there's
featuring Michael
spoiled.
Giacchino.
That was spoiled if you were watching the credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Oh
had
my
the
God.
I didn't
Fantastic
even
Four
notice
theme.
that.
Oh, you didn't? You were
No.
lucky enough. I looked up.
Normally I don't notice
Yeah.
that stuff, but I do like looking at 'cause,
songs.
Yeah, there's always like a song or two in the movie
Yeah.
where like I just want to know what
Yeah.
the song
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, and then they
I-
like cleverly put a little gap, and it's like Fantastic Four theme. I was like,
it sucks because
Come on.
you have to credit. Like what you have to show
Yeah,
credits. And it's like,
exactly.
well, there's no way to hide this.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, extraterrestrial ship
Mm-hmm.
is entering
Interdimensional.
interdimensional,
interdimensional.
extraterrestrial.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Has entered the atmosphere.
Okay, so quick question. Theory was originally, oh, it's the Fantastic Four. I've been introduced to the theory.
Yes.
What if it is Doctor Doom?
Yeah, I've heard that theory.
Ooh, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah. I was like, actually, that's pretty freaking good. And that's like, sure, that chaos is happening.
Like he stole their
he
ship.
stole a ship from them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw a thing that there's a ship in the Fantastic Four trailers that's different from the ship that's at the beginning of this scene.
Interesting.
Or that's at the ship
end.
in the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Like, again, this is in the weeds.
I know.
The weeds where it's like,
yeah.
oh, that ship has 3. It's like a tripod shape with engines, and the
Yeah.
other one has
Yeah.
4 engines.
Yeah,
and you're just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh my god, I love this.
Yeah.
So I saw, I remember seeing that and I was just like, oh my God. And then we walked out the theater and I was like, is this technically a spoiler?
Oh yeah.
Like for first
Big
steps?
spoiler.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I wonder if it's not exactly as it seems, kind of
Oh,
thing.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm wrong too.
Yeah, I think
because
so,
like
yeah.
it's just proving everybody. I hate when the people are right too. Like the people who think they're so like smart or whatever.
Yeah.
They think they're like oh yep, it just means Galactus is going to destroy the world. That
Which is probably true. But also, I don't
Yeah.
think that's the reason they showed it to us. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they want us to think something.
They want us to think.
Yes.
But now it's like,
catastrophic,
what's the 3D chess here? Like they're like, people are gonna think that, so they do this, so then they do that. And you're
Sure.
like,
Like obviously they're traveling in multiverses.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so it's like. How is that Fantastic Four in the MCU proper? And it's like, all right, well, I guess we're just gonna have to wait until next year.
Yeah, truly, like, there's no other way around it. Like,
And then, I guess we will
We'll
also
see
know
in July.
Yes, at how
Fantastic
how
Four, yeah.
Fantastic Four pans out.
yeah.
did your guys' theaters like cheer when that happened?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A
Oh, I
f-
imagine it's
quite
a
a
fan
few.
of that.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Like
yeah.
the
But
shit-
even my 1 p.m. on a Friday, we're like, like
Yeah. Like, the ship flipped to show the 4, and I was just like,
yeah.
and I was like, oh, we're so back. Like,
I
I was like, we're
I
so
love
bad.
watching these
We're
with
teasing
Jeff.
future films and
Yeah.
in the current film. I was like, oh, we're back. Like,
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, and not gratuitously. Like, it was like
It was just
You're
the
just
right
waiting
amount of
there.
just the right amount of breadcrumbs.
100%.
wait. So because I was this just made me think: are they gonna tie the Shang-Chi post-credit scene finally, where it's Captain Marvel and Mark Ruffalo and Bruce Banner
Sending off the signal.
Yeah, like that
in the
post-credit scene
rings?
has not been followed up on.
I mean, they haven't followed up on a lot of things.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot. There's a
'cause I
whole
feel like
thread
now,
about
now
it.
I feel like they're course correcting.
Yeah.
they're like, okay, like this is what this is about.
Yeah.
We're just showing the next one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then hopefully those questions get answered. Obviously, because Shang-Chi will be in Doomsday.
Yeah.
God, finally.
Finally.
Way
so-
too long.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm so excited. That just got me so hyped.
Yeah.
That is in 2 months.
It was excellent. Yeah, I know.
Tickets aren't on sale yet,
Not
right?
yet.
No, not
I-
till next month.
I'm anticipating it'll be in in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 weeks.
Like-
It'll be like a month before. Like legit a month
Yeah.
before.
And is there any other Marvel? Well, Ironheart, and then is there anything? Is Daredevil
it.
season 2 is not till next year,
Not
right?
till next year. They're in the
Until
middle
March.
of filming.
Yeah.
I think at the end of this year. I mean, we talk about like.
What was the animated series? So
animated
Eyes on
series,
Wakanda.
Vision Quest.
Vision Quest might be
Wonder
dropping.
Man in December.
Wonder Man is dropping in December.
Oh, they did set a release date for that.
yeah, and
Yes,
it's 8 episodes.
I feel like they're halting everything marketing, and they're
Yeah.
only showing stuff at those
big
those
conventions.
events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're trying to do a hard reset right now, just to get things in a flow.
Yeah.
And then once Fantastic Four comes out, it's like, all right, cool, we're good. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, it is this weird, like,
Yes.
I mean, I remember, what was it? Like, the trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home came out before Endgame. Like, but they're like, well, we have to show a preview for our next movie. We can't wait till after Endgame. It's like,
Yes.
Spider-Man is going to come, Tom Holland's going to come back, but it is just such a weird thing of this crazy experiment of doing all these movies
Yeah.
where it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, even advertising Thunderbolts before Brave New World, it's like, it's so, I mean,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
the headache of
I
coming up with that
don't
schedule.
I don't know how marketing schedules work and
Oh,
what's like,
God.
yeah.
It's-
Somebody was paid a lot of money
I know.
to figure this
I'm
stuff
like,
out.
We talk about this here and there on this show, even, and it's like, oh God, like, especially right now, I was like, between Daredevil, Captain America, Daredevil, Thunderbolts,
Fantastic Four.
Ironheart, and Fantastic Four, the sandwich that they have caught themselves in and like have to.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't want to be their team
Yeah, and
right
like,
now.
and like the big
it's-
movies, like Thunderbolts, obviously,
Yeah.
like it's always going to be month-long
Yep.
press
Yeah.
tours, 3 to 4 weeks,
Yeah.
especially the big ones. So like, So like at today's event, I know Eben Moss Backrack was there to promote the Bear and talk about Fantastic Four a little bit. But a month from probably in 3 weeks, he's gonna go on a Fantastic Four press tour.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Which is
or maybe
nuts.
I'm sorry, it comes out end of July. I keep thinking it comes out beginning of July.
Jurassic World does.
Yeah, Jurassic World is the first week of July.
Yeah.
I know Black Widow died so that Scarlett Johansson could be the new star of the Jurassic World
so
movies.
like they're like Jurassic World is gonna go on a probably 3-week press tour, 3 to 4 week press tour.
It's going to be on top of Superman.
on top of soup. So everything is going to
July is going to ruin me.
Yeah.
I already
don't even
know
think
it.
I can make the fan event with you.
I'm not going to the fan event. I'll be at San
Oh
Diego.
God, San Diego.
Oh yeah, they're having it come out during Comic-Con
during
again this
Comic-Con.
year.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, because it's the 29th.
So 26 is like the Friday. So 25th. Yeah.
So Comic-Con
Yeah,
is
it's during
23
Comic-Con.
through 28.
Yeah. I don't even know if I could. I got. Yeah. I'm
Oof.
busy in July as well.
Yeah. Jeff!
I think I'm going to a bachelor party that weekend. I'm going to be like, everyone, shut up.
Yeah,
I'm leaving.
You go to like
For 2 hours.
the earliest Sunday morning screening or
Yeah.
like the Friday morning. Like,
Yeah.
Unless like if I'm leaving on a Friday, I think I'm leaving on a Friday on the Thursday night. I'm just like, I'm gonna tell my girlfriend, I'll be like, she's like, we should prep, and I was like, no, I will be at a theater.
The real challenge is that you just have to stay offline.
Yeah.
That's the challenge.
That I cannot do.
It's
He's
hard.
on more than I am.
I am
You know what I mean?
a fiend. I see things and I'll see things and I'll text Di first. I'll be like, do you want to see this? And she'll be like, no. And I'll be like, all right, I'm not gonna send it to you then.
I know. Actually, even I saw Beyonce, and even then, I never thought the idea of like spoiling a concert. Like, I don't look at set lists.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that's the part. Cause,
I don't either.
Because
I
to
don't
me,
either.
the idea of knowing that they're not going to play a song that I like, that
Yeah.
would bother me more than if I go and then
And
they
see
don't.
the
play,
so- oh, yeah,
and they
yeah,
don't
yeah,
play
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I like because when you're just enjoying the show, you're enjoying what you see
what
instead
you're
of what you
seeing,
not
yes.
see.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it was my first time though. Like I don't want to see any actual like looks and costumes. And I was like, I've never felt this way about a concert before. But I mean, yeah, with the Marvel stuff, the longest one I remained unspoiled for was I think I waited like a week or 2 weeks to see Guardians 2 and didn't get anything spoiled. I think
Nice.
it's that part of your brain where it's like the
Oof.
moment you see somebody, you're like, "Ugh."
Yeah,
scroll up,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
scroll up,
That's
scroll
what
up,
I
scroll
do
up.
now.
Yeah, you'll be like, whoa, no.
Should-
No.
But the hardest thing is because
No.
if you watch a lot of like a certain channel's videos, that will be the first thing that pops up, which is like the new rock stars was just like, I was like, oh, get away, get away, get away.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
insane.
do that. Can't
Like
do
I
that.
think we saw it on Thursday, and immediately Friday, I'm seeing like you know those Twitters
Them
where it's like
as the
spoilers.
Post-credit
Yeah.
scene,
Yeah.
like
and it's
explanation.
just like, and I'm like, first of all, where are you getting these rips from?
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez, man.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
So it's like I can't even like with the series like
Yeah.
Born Again, Daredevil, and everything. It's just like people cannot even for other shows like this. I'm watching The Studio on
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apple TV Plus. Like
Same thing.
I see like they're like, oh my god, I love this, and I'm just like, it just came out. I know it's
Yeah.
digitally, but like, holy crap.
Yeah. There's
But-
there's no waiting time
Yeah,
anymore.
so
It doesn't
July
exist.
will be a fun time.
It will be very
It's a
adventurous.
trifecta of just blockbusters
Oh yeah.
from
And
all sorts of IP.
And
Yeah.
It's been a long time since that's happened.
Where it's
Yes.
everybody.
where
yeah.
it's quite literally everybody, and every movie is destined to
three
succeed.
huge studios.
Yeah.
Having probably one of the most iconic franchises. Oh my god, yeah, like
It's nuts.
Jurassic.
Well, it really
World.
makes
Yeah.
me wonder. They had to have had conversations.
Well, I feel like they all have to have
had
this, right?
to.
It's all like a gentleman's agreement. Like, you
Yes.
don't come out here. Like, isn't that the big thing about GTA 6? That basically, like, everybody was, like, clearing the schedule. Like, we're not going to come out in the same quarter as
There's
GTA
no way.
6.
Like,
Nobody's
all game studios are like, oh, whenever that's getting released,
Yeah.
we're not releasing.
We're
that.
not
either
doing anything.
we're releasing before or we're going to, like, wait 6 months. Because
Sure.
it's, like,
Yeah.
that's
There's no
all
point.
anybody's going to do
There's
Yeah.
no point.
is play GTA 6. And
Yeah.
so...
Exactly.
Well, and it's funny because they just today finally... They had been teasing Alien Earth, the new Alien
That's
TV
right.
show.
Yeah.
And they finally said the release date today. It's literally been like this summer. They've been putting out teasers and little videos and viral stuff. And then finally it's August 12th. And it's
Oh,
like,
good.
because I've on See Jurassic World, this week is like the last week of it. I've been doing a See Xenomorph, right? Like a rewatch of the
Yeah,
Alien
oh, okay,
movies.
okay.
And at the time I was like, oh, I'm going to release these. So then maybe it'll end right when the show. And I'm like, no. It's going to be in August. So it'll just be because it started on Alien Day this year.
Yeah.
And you would think that they would have released the show around Alien Day to like time, but no.
Yeah.
But again, it's like it's not just movie schedules, but it's probably also TV and then between
Marketing, press
Yeah.
tours when
Yeah.
you're releasing. So Jurassic World is July
4th of
2nd.
July weekend.
4th of July weekend.
They're releasing it on a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday movie.
It's a
I was
long
like,
run.
like
They're trying to maximize the
4th of
dollars,
July,
the
yeah.
They have
preview
to.
dollars.
'Cause
Yeah.
Superman's on their tail. So
And then Superman is July the next weekend, right?
13th or
Or is it
something?
like
Yeah.
two? So about 10 days.
that's why I was curious about the
Wow.
IMAX thing. I was like, ooh.
Wow.
Do they have to share?
I know, because it was the same thing like with Sinners into
Yeah.
Thunderbolts.
And Thunderbolts,
Like, you know,
yeah.
or
And
July
then-
11th
Yeah,
for
11.
Superman.
And then after that,
July.
Fantastic
Oh,
Four.
so Superman has 2 weeks before. Wow.
Yep. They were like,
Jurassic
James,
World got the short end of the stick
Yeah.
I
on that
know.
one.
But 4th of July weekend, so it is a guaranteed long weekend.
So
Wait, I just was looking July blockbusters. Jurassic World Rebirth July 2nd, Superman July 11th. I Know What You Did Last Summer reboot.
Oh, that's
/
true.
sequel July 18th.
Jennifer Love
so that's
Hewitt.
that's the like in between
so that's a
weekend.
nostalgia. That's a
And-
nostalgic hit.
and
yeah.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Exactly. You have the original. Yeah.
And then but the alternative
What are you waiting for?
the alternative programming to I Know What You Did Last Summer is the Smurfs movie where
my
Rihanna
God.
I
plays.
bet you the creators
yeah,
of I Know What
Smurfette.
You Did Last Summer are probably like, thank God.
I know.
Yeah.
Like we have at least our own weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're not competing with a comic studio.
Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah, they're like we can
Wow.
stand up to Smurfs. I mean, look,
Yeah.
obviously we love Rihanna. We
Yeah.
stand. But like
Yeah.
the alternative programming, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that they definitely had a talk.
Oh, they
all
had-
studios
No
had
way.
a talk.
Yeah.
They're like, look, guys, we know Jurassic World. Jurassic World, you can get the top of the month. DC, you can get this,
Mm-hmm.
and then, you know, I Know What You Did Last Summer and Smurfs.
Like people need to be like, okay,
Yes,
and then
Yeah.
go into
and then boom,
Fantastic.
Fantastic Four.
Holy. Oh,
Wow.
it's gonna be nuts.
I
dude.
don't remember the last time.
No,
that
like
it's-
truly.
But
Something
like,
like that.
since before COVID.
Yeah.
But I mean, were you guys like movie? Like I would go to the movies every weekend growing up.
Oh yeah, I used to. all
Like,
the time.
100%.
I would go on
Yeah.
like Friday with like friends.
Yeah.
And then like maybe like Sunday or Saturday afternoon with my mom or dad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be like the family movie.
Yes.
Like I feel like we would go maybe even like twice a weekend.
Yeah.
Depending
Yeah.
on you think about like what was it? Either 82 had like E.T.
Mm-hmm.
or Ghostbusters.
Jaws.
Like,
Oh, that was like
But they're-
that was
they're-
89. Sorry.
or no,
Something.
The Thing, like
Yeah,
The Thing,
yeah, yeah,
E.T., and like another movie all came out in the same weekend. Like
Yeah.
there's stuff like that, and then that is like a show of confidence, I guess, that they are literally putting major blockbusters out almost every weekend. Again,
Yeah.
whereas last year was like maybe one blockbuster a month.
a season, if anything.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And also theater films aren't in theaters
post-strike.
as long
Yeah,
anymore.
Yeah.
Like they're rushing Thunderbolts out, and that's why like they had to tweet it like, "Oh, don't worry if you haven't caught Thunderbolts yet, it's still remaining in 4,433 theaters
Yes.
across the nation."
I think that's the
like
thing,
the fact
too.
that they had to say that
Because
is like,
studios are scared of a movie
Yeah.
flopping and bombing.
Sure.
That they're like, okay, no, take it out of theaters, and
Yeah.
it's like, no, dude, like keep it there,
Keep it there.
because that's how people will be like, oh,
yeah.
yeah,
that's a good
Yeah.
one, because then they're forced to
right,
rent it or buy it or wait until it goes to a streamer if it does.
yeah. Whereas before, you could
Dude,
definitely see a movie.
movies
2
would
months.
stay in theaters,
Yeah.
for 2 months,
2 months.
even if it was like
Yeah.
a small a small film.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Titanic was still in theaters like 6 months.
Yeah, I
That's
heard
so
that was like
crazy.
a long running
Yeah.
It was a
one.
long
Yeah.
run.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
It's gonna be a very
Thunderbolts
good time.
was the great, I feel like, tone setter.
Where does Thunderbolt stand on your list?
Oof.
Like overall MCU. Ooh, I mean, it might be top 10.
Same.
I think it can for sure easily
Really?
be top.
I think it could be top 10. Yeah.
Yes.
That surprises me.
It could be a top 10.
I will say this. Somebody asked me why, aside the obvious, why I liked this film in just a very genuine, like, why did you like it? And I said, well, as much as I like Deadpool, and this person did not like Deadpool, does not like Deadpool at all.
Sure.
And I said, as someone who enjoys Deadpool, the thing about Deadpool is that it's an attempt of tackling depression.
Yes.
He's a very depressed person. This is the whole characterization of Wade Wilson. He is the way he is because he's so mortifyingly depressed.
Yeah.
And what I don't love so much is that they try to go there to the depths of like real like sadness and make it feel realistic and you can relate to it, and then they pull it back. They're like, no, he's got to be funny again. Like he has to be.
Yes.
He has to be.
Yeah.
He has to save the day. He has to be immortal. He has to do all these things. Whereas with this one, they really just kind of go, well, I guess I'll die. Like
here
Bob
it is.
literally is like, no, I think it's better if I just stay here.
That's
And she's like, but you'll die here. And he's like, yeah. And they don't, that's it.
Unfortunately, that's my sense of humor.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I love the humor in this movie,
Yeah.
because it is that
It's
humor that kind
dark.
of makes people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's realistic.
It's very realistic.
Again, it feels like they couldn't
Yeah.
have made this movie. Like, this feels like the perfect time for this movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
And of course, it's so easy to call last year's summer blockbuster, for the record, Deadpool and Wolverine, like a perfect movie. It wasn't a perfect movie. They had loose ends for days.
Yeah.
There was so much unevenness in the film, but it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
It was
Everyone
fan
loved
service, but it's still a Deadpool
Yeah, it's
movie
still a
at
Deadpool-
heart.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, funny enough, and nobody, like few people will agree with me, I think this trumps it because it actually tied up every loose end they possibly could, aside from the fact that no one knows where Yelena's mom is and she has
Yes.
no dog.
Yes.
But
Where's Fanny?
where is Fanny Longbottom? Yeah, those are the only two things. Like they quite honestly tied up every possible like who, what, where, why.
Yes, I agree.
Right.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, and it still had heart and it still tackled real
Yeah.
deals and it was still fun.
Closing the door on one chapter and
Yeah.
starting a new
Yeah,
chapter
very
for
well
this
done.
team.
So definitely top 10. I'm surprised it's top 10 for you.
I mean, I'm not hard to please.
But there are really good movies in this universe. You know what I mean?
It's-
That's kind of what I mean. Is that
We're gonna have to.
I know once Fantastic
We're
Four
gonna
comes out, though.
we're gonna have to have an episode where
Yeah.
I know it's a podcast. We're gonna have to list every single movie that when we record that. We're gonna list maybe at the end of every year.
Yeah.
Starting now,
Yeah.
end of every year,
Yeah.
we'll list all the movies that have come out since Iron Man 1,
Mm-hmm.
and then we will kind of be like, okay, where's this one at now? Like,
Yeah.
ooh, how do we feel about like this movie? Even though it's the dark, before our episode on Dark World, you know what I mean? On Thor, Dark World, before I rewatched it again,
Yeah.
It's
a lot better.
I would have been like, oh, this is the worst movie of this whole.
not.
And I rewatched it for when we did Thor, and I was like, it's not terrible.
It's not that.
Yes, it did its
It's pretty
job.
bad.
Well, and it'd be interesting to watch,
bad.
like, for example, The Incredible Hulk, now that
Oh, I loved it.
Brave New
Yes.
World
Yeah.
exists. And
Yes.
and then maybe it enhances just like,
Yeah.
that some of this stuff will come back,
Yes.
or it'll make you just appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yeah, so we'll probably we'll cook something up because
Wait, how many movies does the MCU have?
it's over to oh my God.
36, 32?
It's under 40, over 27. I know that. What?
What did you say?
Under 40, over 27?
Yeah, it's actually true. I swear to this kid. It's so
Wait,
good.
how many is it?
How many?
Give me a number, Jeff.
So 40. The last year is gonna throw me off because they've really accelerated things by doing 3 movies almost a year. So I feel like we're in like the 33, 34 range.
So fucking close.
What is it?
I said 36.
36.
I think I heard that from somewhere because
Okay.
I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't feel like I would have known that, but again,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's
amazing.
been that fun thing after a movie
Yeah.
comes out of like,
Yeah.
Because I'm also
consuming
starting,
all the
I'm starting
media.
from Endgame.
Yeah.
Because from Endgame was about like the 27th,
Yeah.
25th or 27th.
wow, there's been 10 movies. Yeah, you're right because it's
That's
Yeah,
nuts.
because like
No Way Home.
because post COVID
Yeah.
they accelerated.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that was, I mean, the narrative of the MCU and fatigue and all that stuff is so funny because it was like we got this big crescendo,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
people were like Marvel fatigue, and there was like no movies for a year, and then they were like, screw you, here's three movies a year.
Yeah.
Pretty
yeah.
much.
And they've reworked that.
And yeah,
now.
so it's like 2 movies a year
Yeah.
or 2 to 3 depending.
Yeah.
And then 1 to 2 live action shows,
And then
2 animated
animated.
shows.
Well, that's why it really hit me today, like on the way here, just again doing a little research or whatever, and I'm like, oh, Doomsday comes out next year.
Next
Like
summer.
in my head, these new
Yeah.
Avengers movies were so far away because they were reworked.
Yeah.
So in my
Yes.
head, I was like, oh yeah, the next Avengers is like 2027 or
we
something.
we said this on the I think our Born Again like season review. Like it's quite literally Daredevil, and then a Doomsday, and then Spider-Man.
Wow.
Like all in a row.
Next
which is-
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like, what?
Have they even
like, it's-
started filming the next Spider-Man?
Yes.
No, but have they? Or are they
They've
pre-pro?
done. They've done.
Principal? Not
I'm sorry. They
principal.
start in the summer.
Yeah,
so
they
I
start in
think,
summer.
Okay.
It's not like summer yet because he's still filming the Odyssey.
The Odyssey.
That's right.
They both are, right?
Yes, they both. No, and
Is she done?
She's doing Euphoria stuff right now.
Oh. They're trying to fit it all in before that wedding.
Yeah.
That no one's going to see anything from. Yeah.
And then Destin Daniel Cretton is directing Spider-Man. I'm so excited for that.
Oh, that's really.
That they pulled in that stunt person.
Oh
and
my gosh.
They're theorizing that Yuri Watanabe is coming in, which would be insane.
Yes.
She's in the Spider-Man game.
Yes.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
In the
yeah.
comics, obviously.
I guess I think the strikes really
Yeah, they
kind
really
of
did.
messed up. They
Yeah.
messed a
Really
lot of
derailed
things up.
things. Yeah.
Everything up. So it's, yeah, I think they're back on track. I know people are like, dude, how is Doomsday coming out?
Yeah.
Like next year, we barely. Yes,
scary.
it's crazy.
It's so nuts.
But they need another Avengers.
Well, yeah, Fantastic Four is gonna like
Yeah.
Thunderbolts really like set the platter, and then-
Feige's salivating at the mouth, man.
And I forgot to mention X-Men season 2
exactly.
is in the middle of all
Yes.
that. Daredevil, yeah, I think it's in between Daredevil and so
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
and if the Spider-Verse like rumors are true, not Spider-Verse. Oh, I guess it is Spider-Verse rumors are true that they might pull in like Doomsday might pull in like animated characters. I was like, what? What?
Yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah, and as soon as the Fox deal happened with Disney, I
Yeah.
know Feige was like,
well, yeah, the fact that he is bringing,
He's cooking now.
like the fact that Alan Cumming and you know,
chip
Yeah.
Sir Ian McKellen,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
James
James
Marsden,
Marsden, and
My God.
Famke,
Famke.
yeah,
oh, that was the thing I was gonna say
Mm.
because I interviewed DeWanda Wise, who played breakout character from Dominion, Kayla Watts.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why the interview happened was because I was filming with my friend Amanda Goodness, who does Drinking the Kool-Aid, and we talked about what was an episode about the hotness level of every Jurassic Park character. It was a very just silly excuse
Yeah.
to just talk about all these characters, Jonathan Bate.
Sure.
But one of the things I brought up was that I had heard DeWanda was rumored
She's
to be
beautiful.
Sue
Storm.
Storm, and
Not
I'm like,
Sue
she
Storm.
would make a great,
Storm.
yeah,
Yeah.
Or, sorry,
Yeah.
Storm,
Storm.
yeah.
Wow.
She would be my number one. Definitely
So,
number one pick for me.
I also love the older X-Men characters because Alan Cummings does not understand the concept of keeping things a secret.
He has no idea.
And I don't know if you saw
No,
that
it's
interview.
fighting Pedro Pascal.
He's like, I was like, what am I doing? I'm hitting Pedro Pascal across the face. Oh, okay. And it's like, so you're having an interaction with Mr. Fantastic? And it's
so
like,
nuts.
damn.
It's
That's
so nuts.
It's I think the crossovers we're gonna see for Doomsday are gonna be things that
It's gonna blow.
it's just like
everybody
it's
away.
25 years in the making,
Yeah.
26 years at that time in the making. It's
Yeah.
gonna be so rewarding.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure people have always been like, I wonder what would happen if all these people
X-Men.
crossed over. X-Men versus Avengers,
Yeah.
Secret Invasion, Secret Wars,
Yeah.
Avengers so we're actually getting it, and I don't think people are appreciating it enough that we're
definitely
able
wanna-
to see
Yeah.
like literally
characters.
like 20 plus A-list actors like in a movie together.
And game's gonna feel quaint compared to.
I know.
Yeah,
Right?
and
you think about that.
and I remember Endgame feeling like, wow, like
Wait,
I can't believe.
real quick, did you see the rumored like character list that I sent you?
Yes,
Have you seen this rumored
think so.
character
I've
list?
seen some of the like leaked concept art and
But
stuff.
like people are like, so RDJ is not only portraying
Oh, sure.
Doctor Doom, he's like portraying several characters.
Oh, okay,
As is
interesting.
Chris Evans.
Sure.
Like, he's going to be young Captain America as well as Hydra Capped.
Okay,
And then
yeah.
like
like
Scarlet
a
Witch
lot
is
of
coming
work.
back, but it's the good Scarlet Witch, not the one
Yes.
that died. And then that Famke Janssen is coming back as Dark Phoenix.
Okay, cool.
Like it's going to be like a
yes.
mashup.
I definitely want to go to the fan event for
Oh my
that. That's
God.
gonna feel really
It's going to
special.
be intense. I feel
This movie needs to be at least like 3 hours.
Yeah.
The cinema is just vibrating.
Can you imagine that in IMAX 4DX?
I mean, look, those El Capitan seats. I sat at El Capitan for Infinity War. That was so painful. The seats are
baby girl. Your girl sat through the Captain America Avengers marathon at the El Capitan.
That's right, at the Capitan.
Yes, but they straight up brought people out for in between every movie. Like literally probably saw every Avenger plus Stan Lee at the time. God rest his soul. But I made the severe mistake of seeing Infinity War in IMAX 4DX.
Oh.
And it was brutal. So I can't even imagine what this is going to be like.
Yeah. I'm so excited.
We're gonna stay hydrated.
Good. Yeah. You might have to come back, Steven. We got to chat some more.
Oh, yeah. That'd be really fun.
So I guess with all that said,
I mean,
dude, we still have a mini Marvel coming up next, actually, which is what I was going to mention. And so that's more of our chit chat. We're just going to talk about all things Marvel Universe, and this is the one that we do on YouTube as well. So if you want to catch the video version, just look for that on our channel. But while we had Steven here, I wanted you to choose our next character study.
Okay.
Since we're officially going into Thunderbolts territory.
And you've done Red Guardian.
We have done Red
Yelena.
Guardian. Yes. Episode 80 was Red Guardian. Episode 31 was Yelena. And episode 29 was Bucky.
Yeah.
So
we have...
Yeah, we have U.S. Agent.
Yeah.
A.k.a. John Walker. A.k.a. what did they call him? Junior Varsity
Captain
America. Val.
Timu Captain America.
Yeah. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. The Sentry, Ghost, or Taskmaster. But we're going to randomize it.
Okay.
So you got to pick a number. I was going to have you,
Oh, you're going to have him choose?
Yeah.
But now you're just going to make him choose? Oh, wow.
Okay.
what I was originally going to do.
Well, I
I'm
won't say
sad.
what my first thought was, so I'll pick a number.
We'll discuss that very quickly, but I bought every popcorn bucket except for the limo and the helmet. And I was going to print out all their faces and put them in the popcorn bucket, but I didn't have enough time. So from a number from 1 to 5.
4.
And the verdict?
U.S. Agent.
Whoa,
John Walker.
That's who I would have chosen.
Yeah. Okay. Who were you?
I was gonna do Sentry. Bob. Just
Bob.
for
I need
Jeff.
a little time for Bob.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a heavy hitter, I think.
Yeah.
So, but
then
US
again, we
Agent,
don't know when we'll see him next.
This is also true.
I mean, maybe Doomsday, obviously, but I don't know if we want to wait.
For sure.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so we're gonna.
I'm very down for
U.S. Agent. So we're gonna start talking about a few Thunderbolts before Fantastic Four, and catchy episodes every other week.
Yes.
But with all that said, that's the end of the show.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks for listening, and also thank you, Steven, for joining
you guys
us.
for having me. This was so much fun.
I feel like we
could have
could-
kept going. I don't even know what time it is.
I know. I was like,
either.
oh dear. I feel like we could talk for ages. Hours.
This is definitely our longest
review.
recap.
Yeah, recap in a while for sure.
I mean, it's just such a rich movie. I mean,
it's just so good. Yeah,
it
it's
is.
so fantastic. And
Say that again?
fantastic, amazing, sensational,
stupendous.
God, marvelous. Steven, where can the people find you, and what are you working on right now?
Yes, See Jurassic Right on all the things is my Jurassic Park podcast, but we get into all kinds of, again, upcoming episode with DeWanda Wise, who played Kayla Watts in the film. But then I also talked to a psychologist about all the divorce themes and stuff in the Jurassic Park movies.
It's so consistent.
Whoa.
It's a
yeah.
thing. It's actually a
Wow.
thing. Yeah.
What else? I mean, I had Molly Damon from Star Wars Explained on to talk about all of Bryce Dallas Howard's episodes of Star Wars, just anything within the web of my interest, basically, can be talked about. I had Margaret Cho on recently. We talked about queer cinema, especially the films that made you queer growing up, and obviously Jurassic Park is a very bisexually coded movie.
Yeah.
So that
No
was
doubt.
all different kinds of stuff. I interviewed the cast of Chaos Theory, so. Just whatever at this point.
Yeah. And you can always find Steven at Stephen Ray Morris on all the things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And
thank you guys.
thank you so much, Steven. And a very special thank you to all of our Patreon supporters, especially the We Are Groot salute. Edgar, Jenny, Laura, Sherry, Chris, Robin, Nats, Joe, Liz, Katie, Tyler, Ashley, Andrea, Melanie, Andrew, Ariel, and Ed. Follow us on social at STRKC and TRST. And if you like what you hear, please review, rate, and subscribe.
Once again, thanks for listening. We will catch y'all in the next one.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
That's what they talk about!
That's not good.